Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again in Nigeria. I hope all is well. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. I just want to first off give thanks to all the subscribers, all the supporters, Patreon, super chats, those who have joined me on a Danfo experience in Africa. I just want to thank you, and I appreciate you. You guys are by far the best. My day ones who have been around for years. Shout out to Marie. Shout out to her. Who else is been a Marcella? I'm sorry. Shout out to Marcella. My Sierra Leone sister. Shout out to her as well. Shout out to all the people who support and are here every day, consistent, supporting, no matter what. I appreciate you, specifically you, Marcella. I appreciate you. Thank you. I know you're going to be in the chat here shortly, moderating. And the thing I love about Marcella, no matter how much she threatens to quit and not come back, she's always here. So y'all, let's give her a shout out. Let's give her a round of applause. Hold on. Where's my here we go. There we go. No matter what, our sister is here. So again, hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, I need all of you who are watching this to go support and buy the documentary In Search of Uhuru. I will greatly appreciate it. It really, really, really means a lot. Your guys' support means everything. It means everything. So again, thank you for that. I'm trying to think what else. So guys, make sure you go to documentary that search for Uhuru. Again, go to documentary that search for Uhuru and buy the documentary. Also, we are rolling to Zanzibar next month. We're rolling to Zanzibar, Kenya, for Safari Blue, and we got some stuff we're doing in Kenya that's exciting. So please visit danfo.africa. Again, please visit danfo.africa to learn more. We're also going to Ghana and Ivory Coast in November, Sierra Leone in November, and Benin Republic in January. So if you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo.Africa to learn more. I would greatly appreciate that. Appreciate everyone's support. Appreciate the love from everybody. And once again, just thank you for rocking with me over the course of these years. It really means a lot. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Has Pan-Africanism been one-sided? That's what FBA says. Even me, I've been a little short-sighted and somewhat said the same thing. And I think the reason why Black Americans, FBA, whatever you want to label us as, the reason why we say that is because, some of number one, we're the most visible Black group in the world. So that being said, we tend to think that everything revolves around us. And then the reason why we are the most visible Black group in the world is because we're in the United States of America. United States of America is the most powerful country in the world, no matter what you say, no matter how you feel about Donald Trump, no matter how you feel about America, no matter how you feel about the past, America's past, very controversial past. America's still the most powerful, visible country. That eagle reigns supreme. That's just the reality of it. And what Black Americans in our history here over the past 400 plus years, and I say 400 plus years, okay, well, we can round it up to 500. That makes you feel better. I'm not one of these. We, the Native American Indian, we, the original Indians. I'm not one of those people. My ancestors came via a slave ship, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame at all in that happening. But again, we tend to think, and there might be some truth in it. I mean, I don't know. There might be some truth in it. Well, there is truth in it. I'll get into the truth in it, which, I don't really brag about. But there's certain aspects of Black America that's trend around the world and is popular, i.e., the entertainment part, which, I don't really get excited about that because we're so much more. I mean, look at George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, W. E. Du Bois, no matter how you feel about them, Malcolm X, MLK Jr., Martin Delaney, no matter how you feel about her, Madam C.J. Walker. I know she can be kind of controversial when you bring her up. Langston Hughes. Who else? Let's do a roll call. Who else? Garrett Morgan. See, these are the names and the people that, when we talk Black excellence and when we want to have these, we set the trends conversation, these are the people that need to be brought up more. Instead, I'm hearing people bring up Beyonce, which, nothing against Beyonce, but it just seems as if Black American excellence has been reduced to entertainment. And we, for some reason, get excited about that, which I don't. Again, I've said this a million times. Excuse my language. This is context. Again, context matters. When I come to Africa, And if an African says to me, "What up, my nigga?" Like, I don't get excited about that. I don't say, "Ooh, yeah, the Africans want to be us Black Americans. They want to be like us." I don't get excited over that. But some people in the community do. Some people in the community are excited that, hey, where's Nigeria's Beyonce? I mean, come on. I mean, come on. Like, we've reduced ourselves, and again, nothing against Beyonce, nothing against Black entertainment. We've reduced ourselves to entertainment. Because when it comes to when it comes to the resume, I guess that's all we talk about. Who's the brother that why do white men have all the fun? What's the brother's name who wrote that book? Kappa. Kappa. What's his name? Was it Reggie Lewis? No, hold on. Let me make sure. Why do white guys have all the fun? I think it was Reginald Lewis. Yeah, Reginald Lewis. I was right. But again, we reduce it to entertainment. But back to the topic when we discuss this when we discuss this is Pan African, is it one sided? Like, how is it one sided? Now, I understand the arguments, the civil rights movement, and all the like. I understand the civil rights movement. That's the biggest response. But we made the decision. I would I would say this. Here we go. This is my argument when it comes to civil rights movement and why all these other groups were included. I would say there would be no civil rights movement as we see it today if all these other groups weren't included. We had to include the other groups because a lot of these other groups help, for the most part, fund the civil rights movement. And then I still don't understand some of the intentions of our civil rights leaders. Prime example, I think it was the Montgomery bus boycotts or the bus boycotts in Memphis. I forget if it is. I'm sorry. Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. Again, I think it was the Montgomery bus boycotts. Some of the decisions made by the civil rights leaders, I don't understand. So again, the Montgomery bus boycotts, from my understanding, there was a Black pastor who offered to provide buses and transportation for the Black folks during this boycott, and Black folks said no. I mean, Martin Luther King turned it down. We know how influential when it comes to a lot of these, and I don't know if you could really consider them Black organizations, but we'll say NAACP, how Jews funded these groups, how Jews in large number funded the civil rights movement. So again, if it wasn't in these other groups that fund these movements, because think about it, if these people who funded the civil rights movement cared so much about Black folks, they would have funded the NOI. They would have put money behind the UNIA. But instead, they put money behind the civil rights movement because they had ulterior motives. And that's part of the reason why all these other groups were included. So it isn't a matter of, you know, when we talk to Black immigrants and we bring up, you know, how Black Americans fought for them, we kind of didn't have a choice. Again, they kind of didn't have a choice. They had to in order to get the money. Because again, you had the NOI, you had the UNIA, you had these Black groups that they chose not to fund for some reason. But instead, they funded, you know, the civil rights movement as we know it today. And again, my opinion is whenever we, you know, whenever we, you know, throw up in our Black brothers and sisters, immigrants' faces, we fought for y'all to come here. We kind of didn't have a choice. We kind of had to, or else we wouldn't have got that check. There we go. That's my theory, and I could be wrong. That's my opinion. There we go. We're back. That's my theory. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. But anyways, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room if you guys want to call in and add to the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. No, what's going on with the Nolan Wells case? I'm familiar with it. Guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Okay. But that again, that's my theory, that's my opinion. I could be far off the mark. Shout out to Eruda Boy, 10 jewels gold coin. And listen, I'm gonna find out what all these jewels mean. Jewels translate to money. All right, cool. We'll figure it out. But guys, like I said, links in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. More than welcome to call in. Babalika, go ahead.
Donis, yeah, Pan-Africanism, Donis, was always about, you know, it was always about black American, Black Caribbean, Black Africans, always about black. So you have a great point what you was making there about the boss and even though people who said no and all that. Like, what is really Pan-Africanism, as you're saying? Because I look at it as everybody together, all black people. Now I'm gonna have to call out some of these FBA and call them black devils because they're the devil. Because what what's going on now is that they're coming to create division. Because they're saying we never say black. Donis, if you ever, I know you've never been to the Caribbean. We got Trinidad have a high population of Indians. You know what they call us?
Right.
The N-word, and they call us slave, and they call us black. Say y'all black N-word, right? So when we come here in America, they say we're not black. That's a lie. A lot of these FBAs are some black devils, man. They come up here and they lie. I'm gonna call her Quincy. You're a liar. Black Caribbean people, African, they be called black. They never was called. So when we come to America, we consider ourselves black, just as black. So they're saying we never say we was black. That's a lie. What we is? What we is? What the hell is Trinidadian and Jamaican? That's was created by the white man. That was created by the white man. That's the name they gave the island. Trinidad come after the Holy Trinity. You understand? Jamaica mean land of wood and water. So when they say Jamaican or we Trinidad, we just calling ourselves after the name the white man give us of the island. But we are our general nationality is black people. So all the FBAs saying all this nonsense, they're the damn devil, man. I'm gonna just put it out straight. I'm gonna start calling some of them out, man, because they come to create division. It never had that type of division. It never had that type of division between black Americans. A lot of them saying, people say that they're not, Caribbean say that they're not black. I would like them to put the Caribbean people on Africa on here that says they're not black. I would like for them to bring them on here. Because it's a lie. It's a damn lie. And they're lying. Elvis made a great point yesterday when you say not black if you're 75%, you're 20. Like what is it? Are you not still black? So, shout out to Elvis and CD that had some great points, and Africa does make some great points too. But they're lying. A lot of Elvis, a lot of these guys that are coming on here trying to create division, and they're lying. In New York City, we always march. When stuff happen, black Americans, Caribbeans, Africa, we always there together. When the Aragana get choked out, I was out there. When the African guy got shoot, the police, when he take out his wallet, I was out there. We had all different people out there fighting with those police together. It wasn't you American, you stay aside. This happened. It was never like that. So all this thing, these FBA devils, I'm gonna call them devils now, they're bringing up, they're lying. Okay, they're lying. If they want to say civil rights, I could understand that, they fight for whatever. Yeah, but y'all are making up lies now, and I'm gonna call y'all the devil. Y'all like to say us like y'all like the white man, because y'all is creating division. Okay, and it's as a Pan-Africanist, I don't separate myself. I don't do that. I see Africans. I'm working with Africans, Black Americans, and everybody. We work together. So all this division, these FBA devils are bringing up, they're just the devil, and I'm gonna start to call them out on the nonsense and the lies they're bringing up. Nobody said. My wife had an American friend, and she always used to tell my wife, "You're Jamaican, you're not black." And so it's Americans be saying that, not Caribbeans or Africans. And she was like, "No, I'm black. What are you talking about? Black? We come from the same ship." No, you're Jamaican. That's what she used to say all the time. So there's the one who says that. We don't say that. So I know some of them who coming on here is lying out their feet. Okay? They're lying. So that's all I gotta say. But shout out to you, shout out for bringing up some of these stuff, because we gotta call people out for what it is.
Okay. Go ahead. Gift of God, Star North. Go ahead.
Yes. I don't think Pan-Africanism has been one side. I think it's been multifaceted. Reaching out to Black people on a continent, reaching out to Black people in America and Britain as well, Great Britain as well. So the institution is credible. The foundation of Pan-Africanism is credible because it's based on integrity, and it's based on uplifting Black people wherever you are in the world, And there has been no other system that I think Yeah, this is my opinion that I think that can compare to Pan-Africanism, and what Pan-Africanism has done for the betterment and the uplifting of Black people around the world, So I think it should be, the philosophies and ideologies of Pan-Africanism should be implemented in every Black nation. It should be implemented in every Black nation, institutions, governments, and overall, I don't think it's been a one-sided affair. It's reached out to a lot of Black people, and we should be proud of it. It's something that we should uphold and build on. I think it's credible going into the future that obviously, we work on, Pan-Africanism, and we grow with it, because I don't see any other foundations which has contributed to Black people as Pan-Africanism has. So yeah, so that's my side, and yeah, I'll pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, greetings for the diners, the panel and the chat. Please like, share, subscribe, and support the channel. As I noticed, people been quite stingy with the super chats since he came on. Yeah, I mean, look, we are, and also you're in motherland right now. You need more support, being in Africa right now. We know that. But look, the days that Pan-Africanism has been so important are the days people are trying to make it irrelevant. And to me, I think Pan-Africanism is not one-sided at all. It's been a very great movement. It actually have been there for, for the most vulnerable Black communities that are living outside, even in Africa. So globally we have benefited a lot from this. And I think the Black Americans, I would say have been, the pioneers of Pan-Africanism, even to, if you want to say even the modern days Pan-Africanism. And you're very right also in the introduction to say that Black Americans are actually been the most visible Black people. And to be honest with you, I've been the leaders of the Black race for the last how many years, since colonialism, because they happen to live in a, in a state like America where we know, they actually project global power, and their voting bloc have been very important, and it still is, believe me or not. So people should give Black Americans the respect they deserve. And this is what I always say: give Black Americans the respect they deserve. Give them the space to be who they want to be. If they want to be FBA, they want to be African Americans. As long as we're working together, we have one single goal. We're trying to achieve as people. But also, not forget, people in the continent, have been great Pan-Africans, Pan-Africans, and they fought and hard to for this movement to stay strong. And right now, we need this thing more than we ever did in our lifetime. Trust me, because the world is becoming more volatile against us. Look at what's happening globally towards Africans, descent. We need to stay together. This division, saying you're African, I'm a Black Indian, or you're African American, or you're African descendant, and so on. Please, that's not. It's not the time for it. This is not the time for it. So we should focus on the bigger goal. We have to finish what we started. And obviously, at the moment, there's a bump in the road, and I'm sure will find a way to level this thing out and work to one common aim. Because our ancestors that started this movement, this is not what they aimed for. This is not what they wanted. To hear Black people online fighting one another based on identity. This identity politics need to come to an end, anytime soon. I'll pass the mic for now. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Diners. Hello to you and the panel in the chat. To your question, I would say it has been an unequal relationship. And mostly because of what Africa just said. the international, political, economical, and social dynamic of the United States makes the relationship unequal because when it comes to the finances, right? Like the question is, what does African Americans who are Pan Africans want the Africans to do for them? Like an African can't just come from Africa and start a school here and go to Baltimore and bring a lot of African American kids and teach them. There's a whole process. There's a lot of money that's required, more money than will be required in Africa.
Facts.
So just Africans wanting to do things for African Americans in America, it takes a lot more, than say a person like you, Diane, is going to Africa doing business, going to getting a little plot of land, and building a school and donating it. That school that you're building, or that school that you've built, that doing it in America will probably cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, where maybe you can do it for 20 or 30 or 50,000 in Africa. So in terms of finances, it's just more difficult for the African individuals to to contribute to African Americans in America. So but I think what the value that the Africans bring to the table when it comes to Pan-Africanism is the landmass and its resources. And that's something that most people don't understand the value of, especially African Americans, because most of them has never been to the continent, understand that once you go there, the freedom, number one, that you're dealing with Black people. Yes, don't be naive. You can get scammed. We all know that. But the fact that you're dealing with Black people, the atmosphere of business is easy. Once you get your foot, in the door, it's easier to progress, amongst other Black, African people, and really having a base of operation, that looks like you. It's a valuable resource, So I think for most people who are Pan-African, they just can't leave the United States and go to Africa and experience what Africa truly has to offer, like you, Dinus. And you can probably speak on this after I'm done to others, that there are opportunities there, but you have to be there. It's easier for you to leave America and go to Africa than the African to leave Africa and come to America and do business with you. So that's the the shift that the unequal shift that many people see. Like, well, what has African ever done for me? I ain't seen no African coming to America to help me do anything. Why should I go to dusty ass Africa and build a school or help African kids or donate anything to them? They ain't doing the same thing for me. It's just harder to reciprocate for the Africans because the United States, coming here is a lot harder. The things that an African might want to do for you is a lot more expensive here than it is in Africa. So, that's just the reality of it. But overall, I think Pan-Africanism, the real thing, the real crust of it should be Africa is your base. It's your base. Should be your ancient base of operation where you can go there, use it for your benefit. Whether you want to give back or you want to take from, it's available to you to either help or take. And if you want to do business, like Dinus, you do your business, you focus on Africa. You could have focused on any other place, but you focus on Africa. I'm sure you get some benefits, and part of it is love, but other part of it is commerce. So if those who have the capacity, they can use Africa as a resource to benefit from it. And those who want to give back, they can also give back to Africa. So that's my take on it. I'll listen to others. I'll pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, Brazen.
Yes, thanks for having me, man. So first of all, I gotta say I agree with what Elvis was saying there. If we're looking at what Black America can benefit from Pan-Africanism, there's always been that welcoming, that invitation, right, from Africa to Black Americans. At the same time, I also want to make a separation again because I think that this whole debate, right? I think that for me, I can never combine this FBA with Black Americans. I think that these are two separate things.
Yes.
And so when I'm addressing or when I'm speaking about these issues, I'm going to be continuously referring to this as FBA. And I think that this FBA group, obviously they're very divisive, but this is the same habits that we will see from other groups, like going all the way back to ADOS. There's a lot of confusion going on because I don't see how we can address all of Black Americans under this ideology because not even all of them recognize what FBA is. So I think that's the first thing I would say. So when it comes to the Pan-Africanism being one-sided, I think just like other things that they complain about, right, and forcing people to have to defend things that, to be honest, are quite irrational, I think that this falls under one of those as well, right? Because for one, for all the complaints that we get from FBA, there is no clear outline of a plan or organization to move towards what it is that they're trying to achieve. If you spend more of your time disrespecting Africans, right, whether you're calling us dusty and so on and so forth, stealing other people's identity by saying that you're indigenous to the land, Native Indians still exist. All of these things just seems like a bit too radical or planned out to just really gaslight everyone. And this is not, again, it's stealing from what Pan-Africanism can be. I understand that Pan-Africanism itself has its own issues, right? Even if you come all the way to the African Union, there's a lot of dissatisfaction there. But again, I think my main point here is just, I think it will make more sense if FBA was, you have to have structure, and part of structure means you have to have a leader. As much as they deny Tariq Nasheed is not their leader, this is one of the things that allows this thing. I mean, it's like a digital rabies, man, because this thing has no head, but it is extremely chaotic and just causing rage everywhere. So to me, I don't think this is I don't really look at this as a serious claim either. I'll leave it there.
All right, go ahead. Was that Cobb?
Oh, yes, sir. To answer your question, the Pan-African movement, when I was, 18, 19, now that I look back at it, I just asked myself, well, was there something they were hiding when they were instructed to give and understand that they moved with the other side, which was Africans, instead of this side, which was people that were here? Because why go way over there when you do have people here that have legitimate organizations like the NOI, the UNI? You know what I'm saying? That is a great question. I'm just wondering if anybody can answer that. Like, why would they? What would be the reason?
Well, the NOI is not. I mean, I don't know. So the NOI, there's not any type of, like, I'm not part of the tribe of Shabazz. Like, I respect the NOI. I think Elijah Muhammad is one of the greatest Black men to ever walk the face of this earth, along with Malcolm X. But I'm not part of the tribe of Shabazz, and there's no African component of the NOI, if that makes sense. But again, the NOI does great work. I'm not gonna lie, but when it comes to Africa, there's nothing there for me in the NOI.
Yeah, that's true. Sir. I agree.
Okay, but now when you say the NOI has a history of not associating with Africa,
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
sorry, Dennis.
I would kind of say that. I mean, are you gonna prove me wrong?
So
But they're not they're not in basically they are more for like the grassroots. If I'm not mistaken, they are more grassroots Black American and Black, so-called Black people support. It's like a grassroots support in America,
They're
but
just
they are
nationalists.
for
They're
Africa.
nationalists.
Yeah, they're more like Black nationalist group, but without the African, that Pan-Africanism, banner involved in it. If that makes sense. And I'm sure there's a lot of Black organizations like that, that involve the churches, involve, different like the Black Panther. We have different Black organizations that are doing grassroots work, globally, and I think in a way it's just one of those, isn't it?
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, they
I
do
don't
try.
know. I'm just asking because as I was growing up, the NOI, the history of Malcolm X, and it all directed back to Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do, as far as I know, as far as like the origin, not the heritage of what they are as a nation had always referred back to Africa.
Are you
They've been
like
quite
where
semi-faceted.
like I mean
They've been a semi-faceted organization, part Pan-Africanism and part nationalism. So they have been working in between, but I think they're more. They tend to lean more to the nationalism. They're more nationalists. So that's what it is. That's why the confusion comes in, whether they're a Pan-African organization or a nationalist organization. But yeah, they lean more towards, localized and internal type of infrastructures. So yeah.
okay. All right. Let me pass the mic to Kidola. Go ahead, Kidola.
Thank you, Dennis. I think I have to be straight and honest. This intellectual kind of debate or analyzing things actually does not help. I've never seen a Pan-African conference in Nigeria where everybody's sitting down, flashing out businesses and other things from Black Americans. These so-called Pan-Africans or whatever, Pan-Africanism or Pan-African-minded people, actually I've never been to Nigeria in the way back. I think when you start irritating people with the so-called Africans or West African, let me put that generally, you have to claim people who don't want to claim you. You have a lot of people in the continent that look like you, that have a lot of things like you. Why should you be going to people 500 years away that you want them force them to be African? I think it's not honest. I think it's not fair. You can see them like fellow Blacks. Okay, hi, how you doing? But I've never seen where Pan-Africa, whatever those so-called. I think the highest I think I ever see they ever cooperated is during those independence time, after the independence, share things and other things, form some kind of ECOWAS that is meaningful, AU that is meaningful a little bit among them. They never really actually crossed the sea. Or the sea actually never really crossed the sea to Africa. I think this lie that you fought for Africa to come to the United States, I think it's lie, it's fake. I've never seen where it's been written by any of these Martin Luther or Malcolm X has said, let the Africans travel to the United States. Rather, what the Americans were doing, they were playing what's called geopolitics. They don't want Africa to go too much to the Russia. They open, yeah, you can come and study in my place. Then your government have to give you scholarship. Sometimes they sponsor some people that you like places like Kenya, select people like the Obama father and send them by some special groups. But will never be done by so-called Pan-Africanism. This will be done by the white people. So this myth like, oh, we fight for you to come, then then they would have been fighting the Congress. We ask people to let the Africans come around, but why is Africa not coming around? When they start rejecting these visas and everything, right from that, a late 60s to whatever it is now. So see, black people, we can run this a lot and try to form history a lot. We can do business if they have business to do. You see, the black Americans are far more vocal. The Jamaicans are far more trickish. They don't like Africans too. So we just have to be very clear about that. This so-called Bob Marley music, Africa Unite, it's all fake. Fake. There's a group of Jamaicans now coming out to YouTube, start behaving like like the master now. So I say Africa want to claim them. This kind of a thing, Jamaica is Ghana, Ghana, Jamaica. Stop it. It's all fake. You're not Jamaican. You don't even have their culture. You don't understand their norms and everything. Even if Nigerians are not saying it. The problem that comes now is this. We look at these people before when they come around. Right now, Ghana went to open that door. I saw engineered by black Americans, Hebrew Israelites in Ghana. And of course, the so-called old man that left. This is not being done by so-called the real black Americans. It's being done by Hebrew Israelites who organize this, who have agenda. Now the agenda now backfire. We start seeing people coming to life who want to make money, then now spread like mosquitoes. Bachi Africa is a way of making money now. But I don't know how long it will last because it will backfire. You don't start something you cannot end. So we just have to be honest. Nothing like, oh, we are brothers, we are this. Hi, long time, how you doing? Claiming them, I think is wrong. Thank you, Dennis.
No problem. Go ahead, Elvis.
If I can just chip in one thing there with what the last speaker was saying, I think, in fact, MLK was inspired by Kwame Nkrumah's movement in Ghana.
I'm not going to
was fighting for its independence.
Okay, go ahead, Elvis. Unmute yourself. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, Dennis, I can hear you. I spoke earlier, but just to kind of come back in is that what Kadola said is, it's a bit pessimistic in terms of developing a relationship, because a lot of people who are saying these things are a minority. A lot of African Americans, they want to have a relationship with Africa, and I think the fact that Africa is there physically, and some people have advocated for a business center Pan-Africanism. And again, being that this is America, I don't know people who've done like the import export kind of business. It's difficult. There's a lot of things that some like Hebrew Israelites or Egypt, or whatever you call those people who are into Egypt. They used to do the whole, what is it called? Black seed oil, shea butter, and a bunch of other things that some people go to Kenya, and some African Americans desire those kinds of things, and they did business from the continent and imported those things and sold them. But I think on a more expensive level, where people can do real big business with Africa and import a lot of whether it's raw minerals or other things that the African Americans want from the continent, those things is a part of Pan-Africanism. It's not just so, what have you done for me? The fact that you can do commerce, it will be difficult for African Americans to go to China and really have the leverage, or the latitude to really do business with the Chinese on a personal level, or even on a organizational level. So that's a benefit that you have with Africa. Yes, Africa is undeveloped for the most part, but the fact that you're Black and the fact that you go there and you go there with a stated purpose that You're black, I'm black, I'm on a different side of the world. I want us to be connected through business. And this is what I'm I'm looking for. And find the right people, and do business. And maybe diners don't talk about it enough, the opportunities that's there in Africa for some brothers who are of means. A lot of people just don't have the means because doing international business, shipping business is really expensive. You have to have real means. $5,000 is okay, but you're talking maybe 50 to $100,000 minimum to really do, a large scale or medium scale shipping kind of business where you're bringing goods from Africa to the United States. But on the cultural exchange, I'm not big on that, but Dennis will tell you there are a lot of people who, when they go back to Africa, the music, the cultural experience is something that is really it's life changing for a lot of people because once you get back to the base or the source of it and you experience it, you're like, wow, if Africa wasn't here, like Dennis, it would be difficult to be, Ifa initiate or listen to some of the beautiful music he listened to in Senegal, or see some of the beaches that he goes to in Freetown and so on. So it's almost a spiritual or reawakening when you go back to the continent. And I'm not an African worshiper like some people do, or the motherland, blah blah blah. But I'm just saying, for those who are into those things, it's there for you to experience it. And without the landmass being there, you will be losing those things, and never regaining them. So there are benefits for all of us, and I think we have to look at that holistically rather than what have you done for me literally monetarily. There are other things that Africa can offer you besides money. And I know money is the most important thing for most people, but just dynamic, of America, Africa can have more money and give you more money than you already have in America because you live in the most economically prosperous in the nation. It's not an equal, comparison. But I pass the mic, Dennis.
All right, go ahead, CD.
I agree.
Hey, Dennis. Hi, everybody.
Peace.
We're good,
Oh,
brother. Welcome.
yeah. Hey, how you doing, my man? Ja love.
Yes, brother.
Staloman
Nice.
said, "Day, day, and tomorrow, so."
Yeah. Now you dey talk the real crew.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with Ernest what he said. We have to be very careful to group everybody together, like what Kodiola said. This is why the FBA wants. They want to divide us, you know, and that's why when I'm being talking, I be very specific. Any negativity I somehow relate to FBAs, and this is what they want. They want to divide us. They want to bring people like Danis down. They want to bring us split. So when you're speaking, you have to be very, very careful. You can't group all African American to be FBA. You know, uh, I have met African American in Kenya. We met at the mall in Yaya Center. Having coffee, and he and I interacted, and he took a whole business from Atlanta to 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 Nairobi. And he was running his own clinic in Atlanta, and he said, well, you want to open a branch in in Nairobi, and we met. I said, well, I'm not based here, but I'm more into real estate market, but I can link you with another African Americans. And I linked him with that person, and we were doing business together. And I've seen Nigerian and African American. Nigerian came from Britain, and he had a coffee business, and he opened a coffee shop, and his partner is African Americans. They have a lot of productive African Americans that are doing great things in Africa. So we have to be very careful. We can branch all of these people together, right? But what I would disagree with is African Americans claiming all the time, FBA claiming all the time that, without we the black people, African will not be here. No, without a white man, there will be no civil right, right? There was majority of white people that voted for civil right, right? The guy who was a president at that time, Lyndon Johnson, without him, there would be no civil right. But claiming that without uh, black people or FBA, there will be no African American. That's no Africans in America. That's just a false claim. We go through the same immigration process than anybody else,
It had nothing with being your black skin, that you have some connection with African Americans. That's why we are here. That's a complete false claim, you know. And they will always use that as a weapon against Africans. And nobody should fall for that. Nobody should feel guilty of that. But I will say that we have to be very, very careful to distinguish it. You know, FBAs are completely different from Black Americans to me, right? Because FBAs are only there to be more destructive for all Black people. If you think of all the Black leaders that have been killed, it's been killed by the FBA. Who killed Tupac? Who killed Biggie Small? Who killed Nipsey Hussle that opened a business in the ghetto in Chicago? Who killed Mark MMK? Who killed
California, not Chicago.
right, exactly.
Malcolm X. More
Right.
and
So
more.
all these people, Nipsey Hussle, he just came from I think he was background from Eritrea, born here, opened his business in the ghetto. What they did, they killed him, right? And Snoop Dogg said, I told this guy not to open business here. These people will kill you. That's why we all run away from them. When we be successful, we run away to white man hands. You know, this is a white man country, but at the same time, we have to be careful when we're speaking against white people. All the neighborhood in this country is being saved by white people, right? We don't have any kind of productive or well-organized city that is being run by Black people. Every city that's been run by Black people is being destructive, right? Especially FBAs. So FBAs are against the productivity of any type of Black skin, right? Somebody saying that Jamaicans speak against Africans. This is my first time hearing that. Jamaicans are very cool. They say, "Oh, Africa, me, African," you know. But
I
few
will
people
talk
on
on that.
internet make causing this noise.
I will
You
talk on
gotta
No,
that.
be
there's
careful
some
with that.
truth. There's a truth to the city. A lot of Jamaicans, like the African Americans,
Right,
they
right. But
are.
the
One
one that
second,
have
let me just chime in quickly. They are still mad about slavery, like most people who were enslaved. So Jamaicans, when you talk to them and you really get deep with them, they bring it up. They bring up that Africans sold them into slavery, and they still haven't really forgiven Africans. So
yeah,
there's that issue.
That's my first time hearing that as a Caribbean.
I know, I agree with
Elvis.
First time
Elvis.
hearing that as Caribbean.
Elvis, I agree with you. Do you know what? One difference between Black American and the Caribbean will tell you the reason why they don't like you is because not all Caribbean, but the ones I came across, especially the Jamaicans, they will tell you the reason why they don't like Africans is because Africans sold their ancestors to slavery. But
Yeah.
I'll find out the other group will go around the bush, will pretend that's not the reason why they don't like you. But for me, I prefer the honesty, where you can openly tell me why you dislike me, what you think my ancestors did wrong, so we can actually deal with that issue and iron it out, than pretending to like me, but then you hide your motive for not liking me.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
What?
as a Caribbean person, those people who sold us into slavery, they are not here. So
No, I agree. Babaliko, you're not all
to keep on
Caribbean.
going back
But
to say the same thing over and over is ridiculous. So that's why
yes, I
it's my first
understand that.
time here. Yeah, it's my first time hearing that. A lot of
Yeah.
Jamaicans and stuff I know, my wife and stuff in Jamaica, my family, they love Africa. They goes there. They live in
Oh
Ghana.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
They
I
got
agree.
houses there.
I
So
agree.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
my first time
I
hearing
never
that
had any
as well.
experience with Jamaican.
I
I think
agree.
Jamaicans, I've seen Jamaican even more. Yeah, they are even more proud of Africa than some Africans. Jamaican first their
Exactly. Yeah.
interaction with you, they
That's because of the
African,
Marcus
African.
Garvey movement,
There's
the
some
Marcus Garvey
Jamaicans who
movement.
are like that city,
No,
and
but
like
what I'm
there
saying,
are some African Americans who love Africa too. But there are
my
those
interaction.
Yeah,
Jamaicans who are
some.
angry with the Africans
TD,
because of slavery.
TD, if you meet the Christian
Well, my
Jamaicans,
interaction with them,
they're
even
different to the rest. The Christian Jamaicans are different to the rest of Jamaicans. They're different type of Jamaicans.
Yes,
We need to
that's a fact.
separate them. Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
it's
because I know them very
impossible
well,
for
I
me
grew
to
up with them.
ask
I
a
understand the
question
difference.
oh no
dealing
no
with
no
Okay.
no you right the Rastafarian, which of course I
They
interact
love
with
Africa.
You're talking about the
yeah,
Rastas,
definitely.
yeah. And don't forget
Definitely.
the Rastas are marginalized in Jamaica based on that ideology. Their
Yes.
mentality is not that big in Jamaica. You understand? They call them all kind of name, bubble heads, this and that. But they don't understand the Rasta. They don't understand the Rasta culture is the reason why Jamaica is famous, and the reason why Jamaica is respected. And I tell my Jamaican friends that I said you need to, because I didn't know this until I've been around them. I understand the Rastas are one of the most marginalized group among the Jamaicans. And I said, you cannot do that because these are the people who made you and made your culture for who you are and the country very respected. You need to stop it. I stand up to
Let
them
ask the
based on everything,
gentleman a
but the
question.
Jamaicans are very easy to deal with. I find out they're more easy to deal with, and the majority of the Caribbean group. That's because I know them, very well. Maybe that's the reason why.
But I mean, I'm telling you, like the Rastafari, if the Rastafaris have more power in Jamaica, Jamaica will not be in this situation today, right?
That's a fact.
Right. Because
100%,
it's
100%.
almost like the
Yeah.
country is being invaded by the
May I
Westerners,
ask
right? The
the
country is so
gentleman a
expensive.
question?
Even ordinary beach in Jamaica, the Jamaican can't even make use of the beach anymore.
Yep,
Only the
that's a fact.
Westerners can make use of the beach, right?
Yes,
So all the
yes.
Jamaican living and go to Africa, go to Kenya and see how the businesses that they established over there. This is what they're all complaining about. But if you were to stay with the Rastafari, Jamaica would not be like this today. Right? It's so expensive for ordinary Jamaican. They all living
Yes,
in the hands of the
yes.
Westerners and the Chinese. It's sad.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
the fact. So,
Yep.
and Africa is the only place that we all depending on right now. It's a vast land. It's about 54 countries, state. That's what Daniel say all the time. You have to have other options, right? We are not no more stable in Jamaica. We don't have nothing again in the US to claim to. We have no ownership of anything. Why make use of the other opportunity in Africa? Right? And then a lot of African Americans taking advantage of it. Jamaicans opening restaurants all over in Africa. Like you go to Kenya, they have businesses open.
Yep.
May I
So,
ask the
but
gentleman a
grouping
question?
everybody together, that
Please.
African American here, like you have to be very careful when you're making a type of statement. Only the FBAs, and there are
Right.
very few online. So,
I
but I'll
agree.
pass the
I
mic
agree.
for now. Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah,
Can I
your new
ask a
person,
question?
Dinus. Dinus, you got a new
Yeah.
person on the panel.
Oh,
I,
my
Yeah.
bad. My
I,
bad. I was mute. I was mute. Go ahead, Big Black.
I just have one question.
Well, hold on. Let Big Black go, and then you can ask your question. Or is that Big Black talking? Oh, Big Black, I can't. We can't hear you. Big
Oh,
Black.
Big Black.
Yeah, Big Black, you're on your Obama phone, Big Black. You did called in on your Obama phone, Big Black. Let me go ahead, Cobb.
No, just a simple question. Is American a race of people?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Let me let Cobb ask his question. We'll pass it back to you.
No, it's a simple question. Is American a race of people?
No, America is a nationality. It comprises of multiple, a diverse race of people.
And somebody needs to turn off their playback. Somebody has like the news playing or the TV playing in the
Yeah.
background. You got to turn it down. All right, go ahead, Big Black.
I'm a Pan-African. I don't like FBA. I think it's a cult, right? One thing that is true to what they say is that we paved the way for a lot of immigrants to come over here. Let's be real. Now, let's say right after slavery, do you think those kind white people would let y'all come over here? Because there was so much hate for black people, right? So we went through a lot of things during those years, right, to make it palatable for you all to, come over here and do what you need to do, set up shop or whatever. And that took years and years of them, not wanting to accept us even after slavery. So, if you came over here, maybe like a couple of years after, they weren't letting you over here like a couple of years after slavery ended. It wasn't, oh, you're an African, you're not like those other guys. You're black skin, just like you get pulled over by the cop, right? You're black. We don't want you here. They was trying to ship us out, right? So that's how, part of that is how you have black people in Liberia, right? So, we have to be honest when we having these conversations, right? It was a different time from, let's say 1870 to like 1960. You know what I mean? We made huge strides, right? And broke down a lot of the color barrier to make so when that immigration bill passed, it was due to a lot of African Americans, making strides where, they had to question, white people had to question their morals, right? So I want to say that also, we have to, I guess, black people as a whole, we have to stop being gang goofy. When I'm saying gang goofy, right? Let's say if FBA did start here, right? Let's say if all African Americans were like, we love Africa, and pretty much all the diaspora, right? What do you think these racist white people would do next, right? They would try to infiltrate. They would try to form a group up in Africa. That's to say that the diasporas are not African enough. They're, we need to stop falling for these little tricks, right? When they'll infiltrate us and start up groups, and we can't see that these groups are being started by non-African people. Yes, it's a cult. We still should keep saying it's a cult. I would love if more people that are against FBA start making comments on Dinah's page, right? Because when I go to Dinah's page after these videos, and I look, it's all these FBA comments. We need some non-FBA comments to counter that. I believe a lot of his views will shoot up, because I'm gonna like those. I'm gonna like those comments. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna like the hell out of those comments. He should have a lot more views that he's having. Every time one of these videos closes, right, all I see is these dumb FBA comments. They act like pretty much like KKK members. They run straight to Dinah's comment section. But right now we have people going against that movement. Channels like Dinah's channel. I think it's a Haitian brother. I can't. Nefertarius, I think his name is.
Defalim. Big Black. Love is stronger than hate as an emotion, but hate projects more. So people coming on the panel to hate watch and to post hateful comments, they make that a mission. And those who love you, they're not gonna come out express, to come and tell you I love you. They might watch it and give a like to the video.
But what I'm saying is, if we have more people commenting that are anti-FBA, they'll raise these numbers, these Dynasty numbers. Dynasty numbers will shoot through the roof. Because what'll happen is you have more FBA trying to, comment and deflect those comments. His video should be getting a lot more views than they're getting right now.
But you are one of them, Big Black. You are one of the non-FBAs. American.
Every time I comment, the tripped out thing with the funny thing that I know with some type of non-black hands behind this, YouTube is pushing them because you can't. It's hard for me when I comment to call them a hate group. It's hard for me when I comment to call them a cult. My comments are not showing up, so that tells me, hey, these. One thing, if you know about racist white people, they love to spy. They're some spy motherfuckers. Excuse my language, Steins, but they love looking. I agree. And they love to add to the confusion, right? Especially if it's going their way. So a lot of these FBA people that hide under this FBA banner, some of them are not even black. I believe so. Right. You gotta watch this stuff, man, because they're scared of the rise of our race. They don't want to see us. Right. They don't want to see us to get on our feet. This whole thing of as far as the title of the show. Listen, when we were fighting for rights to vote, right, more rights, Africa was just getting out of decolonization. Colonization. So how are we expecting them to just be on the forefront as far as, none of the countries when they got out of colonization, none of them were powerful as America, not even close. So we both were making strides, trying to make strides and get powerful. You can't, if I'm barely on my feet and I'm struggling, it's gonna be hard for me to help you if I'm struggling my goddamn self. You see what I'm saying? So when you see these type of comments, what Pan-African has done for African Americans, this is some agenda, some hidden agenda, some anti-black agenda that's coming from non-black people. Yeah, you gotta understand, Tariq has been doing nothing but making these videos for about 6 to 7 years. And then I've noticed that one of the first channels that, you know, where we had a big platform where black people from all, you know, from around the world could talk is Dinah's channel. When Dinah's opened up his platform, there was no FBA. I know they wasn't like
There
that.
was, but it was a little. There was, but it wasn't as loud. It wasn't as visible. There was a lot of people. There's people, probably about 1 or 2 people that would come on and make their voice heard, but it wasn't that.
No, there
That's the
wasn't.
thing.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even a group. Believe me, it wasn't even a group. You know, when Dinah first would do his lives, he would pretty much he wouldn't allow a lot of people on. You know what I mean? He would have guests and stuff like that on. There was no FBA. Tariq didn't have an FBA group. But as Dinah started opening up his platform, and you're seeing black people talk from you know, different parts of the world, I'm noticing this FBA stuff creeping on. You know what I mean? They don't want us really to unite. Because they know, you know, we can leverage power. That's what Pan-Africanism is about, leveraging power.
Exactly.
They don't want us they don't want us to leverage any power. You know what I mean? So they're trying to cause division. That's why I'm quick to always call them a cult. You know, Tariq made his money off of Pan-Africanism. Without Pan-Africanism, he wouldn't even be where he's at right now. His first 5 videos pretty much were pushing Pan-Africanists. The main characters that he had on, most of them were Pan-Africanists. So that's why, So that's why he grabbed some of the youth, because they were like, okay, I see a lot of, you know, I see a lot of truths of what he's saying, but he says, but at the same time, a lot of us older folks, when he started way off on that, we jumped off the bandwagon. We're like, nah, he's going a different direction, you know. But a lot of the younger cats that just got put on to him, they kept with him, you know. But if it wasn't even for Pan-Africanism, he wouldn't even have a platform where he can, you know, drop a video that has those many views. But I'm gonna pass the mic.
I mean, to see the thing is, we in West Africa, for my region, CD, if you're there, you can account to this, right? We, as people of my, you know, my ethnic group or my heritage, the people we know as Pan-Africans are way before what you call like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, may their soul rest in peace. I mean, when you talk about Pan-African in West Africa, we're talking about people like Sangbe Pierre, Baibure, late Samori Toure, Alpha Ayaya, and Boubacar Biro. And in fact, today I saw in Guinea, the elders in Guinea, they actually started to ask for this coal and the burial of the late Boubacar Biro and Almame Samori Toure, their body. They want it back because they can see what's going on in their country. And they feel like the same people who managed to infiltrate the country back in the 17th to 18th century are trying to be up to something. And these people, they're trying to find their spirit back. So we have Pan-Africanism written all over our blood. Okay, like what you see that happen in the AES, for example, this, as I said to people here, is nothing new. We have people that done this battle for us years ago that gave us this inspiration for what is happening in the Sahel with the AES. That is just like a photocopy of what happened during those days. So Pan-Africanism has always been in the West African blood. And I think regardless whether it's in America, whether it's in West Africa, it's always going to be in our blood. I don't think anyone's going to be able to shake it off, you know, and I will not, you know, basically buy into the few angry people who actually have built disillusioned mindset towards themselves and other Africans, make me change how I view Pan-Africanism or how I view, you know, my people and our struggle. You know, I will not definitely let that down. CD, have you seen, I mean, you was talking about the this situation in Guinea a few weeks ago, right? Are you there, CD?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you see what's happening there right now? I don't want to go into, you know,
about what?
About my guy, you know, he's not well, isn't it? You know?
No, yeah, I told you, he's sick. Yeah, seriously.
It's been flown out. Yeah, it's been flown out. I wish he gets full treatment and recovery back, and he come back home. But right now, people are finding, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Mm,
it's going to be a fight because the guy who is the prime minister of Bawuri is a Fula guy.
mm,
So the
yeah,
reason why he put Bawuri there because he want to get support from the Fulani, right?
yes.
But honor him, they have Amara or Kamara, they have
Mm,
Abubakar Siddiqui, and they have Bala Samura.
Camara,
Right.
Bala Samurai.
Right, all
Yeah.
these guys, they are lined up
Mm,
behind Bala Samura and this guy Bobakar. They are mean. They're from Farana. They're from where Sekuturi was born. Right, they are different type
Parana,
of
yeah.
Madingo. Where
I
Amara
know, I know.
from Masanta, and then
Mm,
Bala Samura and the other guy from Farana. So it's going to be
mm,
some fight among them. But the reality
yeah.
is, so the person that's supposed to be the president when he passed away, it should be Bawuri, right?
No, it shouldn't. According to the constitution, is the guy in the
The parli- this guy or the head of the parliament, right?
Koroma. What's his name? Koroma.
Danza Kuruma, Danza Kuruma,
It's Danza Koroma. Yeah, Danza Koroma.
right,
Yes,
right.
it's not
But
Bauri. It's
again,
Danza Koroma. Mm.
right, but again, he's from Kanka. But can the military accept him to be the president? That's the problem.
Well, as I said to you in the past, that's
Hmm.
what demonstrates state. It's not going to be between about Bauri and Danza or so on. It's going to be between the military faction.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that. It's going to be between the military faction. It's going to be between the two barracks, between Samori and Alpha Yaya, and it's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
yeah,
between
Alpha,
the
yeah, yeah,
yeah and
yeah.
Samori, and it's going to be between the special force and
Hmm.
the normal army. And I believe the special force where Dumbuya is from,
Yep,
who are currently in power, they
yep.
will. I don't think anyone would dare violate that.
Was was he
Yeah,
poisoned?
and so,
Was
yeah, because the
Dampuya
special force.
poisoned?
Well,
Was he
I
poisoned?
don't know. I don't like to speculate, but some people said it is, some people said it's not. But as I say, CD to you in the past, the special force would dare. Even I don't understand Bala Samura or Amara might want to take over, or do they have the what it takes to fight the special force? No, and I don't think I want the regular army who have been in power in that country for so long, to take power again, because you
yeah,
know what
but
they are. They're
that's
very
what
poisonous.
we want. But the thing is, the special forces that is there right now, he
Mm.
eliminated the original special forces and recruited all
Yes.
these guys from his town, from Kanka, right? So their
No, they
base
mix. They mix. They mix. They
is
mix. They mix. They're very mixed.
right, right. Okay, most
They
of them
mix.
from Kanka, but they are located at the border of Sierra Leone, right? They're not occupying any kind of military barrack. But Abubakar Siddiqui
Mm,
Kamara, who encouraged him to do the coup d'etat,
to do that, he's in
he
Cuba.
wanted him to be the president, but now he sent him to France. He's the ambassador in France right now,
What
right?
I believe, the guy in the parliament, he's gonna take over, and he's gonna take over if anything happen. And I believe nothing's gonna happen to him. He's gonna come back, and those that think who are itching for power, when he comes back, he's gonna deal with them. That's what I think. He's
But
gonna
you
come
don't
back.
find it's a coincidence that as soon as he said he's going to keep the Guinea franc,
No, because the head of the army of Guinea right now is Ibrahim Asuri Bangura. Ibrahim Asuri Bangura he's a
So
Susu.
from
He's
the
from the
Susu
Susu.
tribe,
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
yeah, Susu tribe. So he is in tap. He's in tap with the army. He's in control of that situation. And as
but
I
he
said, that's a normal regular army. Okay. So I am reading it very closely, and I don't think anyone will have the guts to try
Yeah,
to
but the
replace him.
Bangura guy, he's not that powerful. The guy who is powerful is called
He is very close. He is no. He'll be surprised because the two most powerful military base in Guinea are
Mhm.
in near the capital. Okay, they're in the capital. This Alpha Yaya and Samori. So whoever control those two barracks control the
No,
whoever
no, no.
control
But
those two barracks throughout the history
the
of
mean
Guinea.
military in Guinea, they call them Bata. Abdoulaye Keita is the head of Bata,
No, but
right?
okay, the city. Whoever control Alpha Yaya and Samori will control Guinea government. And
Yeah, I think
those
so. Yeah,
army
you're right.
there,
You're right. Yeah.
yes, so that's regardless who is the head or not, whoever is the biggest, you know, yeah, anyway, let's not change the topic. I
Yeah, all
don't
right.
think
Let's
anyone would
focus on
dare.
the topic.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone would dare to take over power after him. As long as he's alive, they will not dare. Trust me. And I think it's
Wow.
unfair on the guy anyway.
But I don't think
Because
he's
I
going
think
to
he's been.
survive. I don't think so. He'll survive the cancer. I don't think so.
Don't think so. Okay.
No, no, no. He's about to die.
Let's hope and pray. Let's hope and
Yeah.
pray.
Yeah. But again, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to
Well.
our topic. Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing is, this thing is there to just divide with the black people. The FBAs are only coming to divide us. They don't want to see the show like this or Daniels. You remember Daniels, one of the guy came over and said, "Well, why you Africans are on Daniels' show?" Daniel said, "No, this is the up show for everybody. You can't stop people from coming here." That's the type of division. That's the type of mentality that they have, right? They think
Mm,
all African Americans are FBA, which is, of course, it's not, right? Just maybe 1% of not even 1% of African American population. These people now even
mm,
near 5,000, right? So we should not just underestimate them. They have no power. They have no aim. They have no goal to achieve. All they want is to destroy the black people. And I don't want anybody to blame white people for that. It's too little for us to be blaming white people for all this stupidness that these people are
mm.
doing. I don't think the white people have anything to do with it. You know,
You think
that's
so?
how I think.
You
Well,
see the look.
that's what
See the
I
look.
think.
Recently, I used to say Elon Musk is behind a lot of the stuff that's going on globally and on in the UK, for example, right? All this anti-Muslim rhetoric. He nearly caused us a civil war. And you think I used to say this, and a lot of people think I'm just making this stuff. And I was just saying it based on my own personal study until this month. He had an interview with this white lady, one of the most known journalists, and she's not the most, innocent person when it comes to racism. The way she put the questions to him, he's obviously blatantly came out and said, "Yeah, I am, I got the platform Twitter, and I got millions of followers, and they basically listen to what I got to say." And he sent them out there like dogs to attack people. So these things that we're talking about, I'm not saying all white people are about it, but there's some people out there who basically will play into this game, into the division to make it worse. I wouldn't put it past it. There must be them. If there are a group of people who are not black, who are actually playing with this algorithm, playing with the division between the two among the two black groups, because the black groups in this world today are black Americans and black Africans. These are the two groups. If you set them aside, you can do whatever you want to do to one another. Yeah. If you could, without those, if those groups come together, it's hard to deal with it. And I can see I saw that based on um, what I see in the doing the case of George Floyd in Minneapolis, right? I saw how African leaders stood up to it, and I saw how Black Americans came up together and actually fight for injustice. And I saw what changes actually happened, and I saw the people who were against those changes, you know, in the UK, like the right people in the right in the UK and in America, who actually fought to bring Donald Trump back in the office because of those things. So that don't actually ever think some of these white people, not all of them, some of these white people are not out there to go against us. They are. Even the city where I am today, there's a right wing march who is basically a bunch of right wing racists. I didn't bother go because I got my kids there, who came to march in the city, which is a predominantly left city. White people who welcome immigrants. These people marched. They was escorted in by and protected in by the police, and the police went after the people who went to march against them. So the police was actually protecting the racists to come and march in the city and escort them out. Those white people that went against the racists were arrested. So these things are happening. Let's not fool ourselves thinking, of course there are white people out there that are actually, you know, against us, but then also there are white people actually who stand up for us because they don't like the injustice. So these things are happening. Let's not fool ourselves, bro.
Let me
Is there?
let me say this real quick, Africa. I've been watching
Yeah.
for a long time. The flag. He tried to replace that red, black, and green flag numerous times. He has like 5 different flags, and the only flag that stick was that FBA flag. That was the last flag he pulled out his bag. Let me say this.
All right. Okay.
He used to, in his channel, he used to talk a lot about white supremacists, right? And he one show he was going to get some group, and they pretty much like called a fake terrorist threat on his house. So we actually had the FBI, I think, run into his house. And ever since then, he's been acting different. I remember he had a show when he was literally on live and was pointing the camera to a car by his house and saying, "This car has been here for a long time. I think it's them people." You understand? That's before the FBA kick, right? A couple of weeks after that, he jumped on the bandwagon with the ADOS thing, and then flipped everything to FBA. It's a lot of as far as like infiltration in a lot of black groups in our past. If you look in African American history, there's been infiltration in the Black Panthers in every organization we had. It's easy to infiltrate. It's easy for somebody that's non-black, as far as like that's in government, to infiltrate that type of group, or to even start the group. To be honest with you, I think it was started by non-black people. Remember ADOS, the lady, I forgot her name, I can't think of her name, Yvette Carnell. It was found that she was part of a right-wing think tank. When she was the first one that was saying Pan-Africanism is dead. And she was a part, and we found out that she was part of a right-wing think tank. So, we put two.
He said it.
Yeah, and she was getting her marching orders from that think tank. And Tariq came and then rebranded everything. You understand? So there's a lot of reasons why a lot of people think that he's pretty much controlled opposition.
It's mostly these biracials and coloreds, and that obviously instigate these type of things. I don't understand if it's like our unity is is a threat to them, or do you understand?
No, it is a threat. Our unity.
I don't understand.
It is a big threat. Let me tell you the reason why it's a threat, because growing up in this country before Brexit, right? Before, let me say about 15 years ago, gift to God. In the UK, there was no such thing as racism like that, because this was the highest point of black unity in the UK, and we are the last time.
You mean like the late 80s, or what was it, 90s?
All the way to 2004, 2010, 11.
Yeah.
The black unity was strong, bro. Like you cannot mess around with black people in the UK, because we was really, really tight knit community, and we built communities and lived together. Until then, we started selling. Some of our people started selling out. Not only that, they started allowing other people to come in the community that don't know like us, and they're coming in because they mix with them already, and they start selling out. That's when we start becoming weaker.
It's mostly like, I'll say, mostly first generations that contributed to that type of thing. Not all, but I'll say mostly. But the thing with me is, you get a lot of critics. There's a lot of critics who keep on saying that Pan-Africanism fell off. Pan-Africanism is not going anywhere. And just last week, Dr. Umar was in Brixton Square. So we marched all the way from Brixton to Westminster, which is the political center. And it was in line with reparations. So that was a reparations march, UK reparations march, and celebration of Marcus Garvey as well. So I mean,
that's good.
yeah, I don't know if you heard about it. You probably
No, I was
because
in, I was,
it
I
was
was
on a
in, I
lot
was
of
in, Brick,
social media.
I was in Brixton yesterday. Well, yeah,
All right, okay,
yeah, I
okay.
was there
So
yesterday.
so
But I was in there.
you just
I just drove
mixed
past.
it.
Okay.
You mixed it, you know. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because when all these critics they say that Pan-Africanism
Is that why there were a lot of people? Is that why there were a lot of people up in Brixton then?
What you say?
Is that why there were a lot of people in Brixton? Because I drove past it.
That's why. That's why there was a lot of black people from all across. Like, you know, you got black people that came over from the States, from America. You had black people that, you know, came over from the Caribbean. You had Africans. So it was really empowering. It was empowering seeing a lot of black people together, you know, from all types. And yeah, you know, it just gets to me when people try and say Pan-Africanism has fallen off or something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's been no other institution, yeah, which has united black people such as Pan-Africanism. There's been no institution. And I think we should build on this. You know what I'm saying? We should build on it globally.
Without those elders that came here during the Windrush and fight for the right of black people and make sure we have equal right to work and equal right, you know, to be in the same, you know, climb, to make sure we don't get discriminated, even when we're getting bosses on the street, don't get left out in the cold because we're black. You know what I mean? It's like these people are coming here and say Pan-Africanism. These people maybe these people should be brought back to the days before Pan-Africanism actually invented, where it actually worked, so they can suffer in the hands of their masters.
And I'm telling you,
they can tell you that it doesn't work. You know, it's just
be a whole different dynamic.
Because
it will be a whole different dynamic.
They changed laws in this country, in the UK. They actually changed law where it make black people get equal rights at work. Black people get treated equally as human beings, you know, in all aspects of government, society. And then you have people here, and you know, people coming here on the platform and say, "Oh no, Pan-Africanism is a scam." The same thing that help you, give you rights. Work to live,
without Pan-Africanism, we'll be in serious trouble. Let's just say like that globally. That's how much Pan-Africanism has done for black people across the world. Without it, we'll be in serious trouble. So basically, I think, you know, we should like work on this. You know, we should take it to the next level from our ancestors. You know, from Marcus Garvey to great people.
Maybe we should have
Nkrumahs or whatever.
God give. Maybe we should have someone like Kemi Badenoch to come and run the UK and reverse all the Pan-Africanism, so they could actually learn a little bit how the world was like before
That's why Africa. That's why we you guys have to talk to some of your African brothers that's on internet that reacting to all these FBA. It's not necessary, right? So if they don't have any African on internet responding to them, there will be no tension, right? Just them speak. But the more that you react to what they're saying, the more tension it creates, the more division it is, right? So the only time division will come if you want people know if terrorists speak, nobody should call into it, nobody should react, nobody should speak about it. But other Africans come in and create more tension in the whole thing, saying things that unnecessary. They speak against the whole African American group. It makes no sense. This is just few people. So when you come and create that tension and people responding to it and people they will get view.
But if there's no response, right?
It makes no sense.
I'll give you
Sidi, the thing is, it's not just FBAs, it's other multifaceted groups as well.
This is not even Africans. Even Africans
don't respond to them.
I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand because the Pan-African movement is only been a breath of fresh air for black people. You know what I'm saying? And it's moved us forward. That's why we've got our freedom, and that's why we're able to do certain things because of that ideology and philosophy. So I think it's a great thing to carry forward. You know, if we don't carry this forward, you know, we're going to be in a heap of trouble.
Now,
I'm telling you, on a global stage.
If you respond to them as like a hate group or a cult, that's a good thing, right? But when you respond to them like they're actually quote unquote lineage, like they want to be, that only adds fuel to the fire. That's
Exactly. Exactly.
what
Don't
they want.
respond to it.
That's what they
For
want.
real.
Yeah, but some of these African just came in this country reacting to things that they have no brain, they have no sense. They
Yes.
speak against the entire African American community, and it's bringing more tension.
That's it as
It's
well.
bringing
That's
more
some of the things as
attraction to
well, you
these
know.
people. Leave these people
Yes.
alone. It's
Yes.
creating
I mean, exactly.
more
I think
problems for
some
everybody.
Africans. This is the problem, right? Listen, we lived in the UK. I see what created division. It's from both sides. It's not just Black Americans. Some of the Africans who came here who only have one object, one thing aim is to promote either the ethnic group or to promote themselves. But they don't look at the general good of their people. And these people are very
Mm-hmm.
selfish. They come
They're
here, they will actually work.
tribalistic.
Yes, they work against their own people, just to benefit their own people or their own ethnic group. I'm telling you, look at right now, our greatest danger. I'll keep repeating it every time I speak. Our greatest danger in the black world is Kemi Badenoch, the woman who is representing the Conservative Party to become a prime minister of this country. She's actually, do you understand? She actually just recruited a neo-Nazi, a pro-neo-Nazi
Yeah.
as an
I'm surprised
advisor.
that she's still on. I'm surprised that she's still on, but she's just there to push that agenda. She's
There's
there
that
to push that
Nigerian lady,
agenda,
right? That
which
Nigerian
The
lady.
Nigerian lady,
which is
the Nigerian lady, yes.
which is causing a lot of confusion. It's causing a lot of
This
confusion for young black women as well. You know what I'm
she
saying?
is holy. Do you know what she said?
It's
Do you know what
marginalizing
she
young
said?
black women and
She's
making young
marginalizing
black
black people
women,
at the moment.
and
Yes,
making them
she is.
think that that's the way forward, to like
It's
sell
like
out
she's,
your community, sell out your
bro.
people, and it's going
Yeah,
into these young black girls' heads. Do you understand? So
yes,
he's causing a lot of
bro.
conflict and a lot of confusion there. You know what I'm saying? And
Bro, I spoke to a white. Listen, I spoke to a white guy who owned an
Mm,
engineering company. Who actually is the party card holder for the conservative. Do you know
mm,
what he said to me? Do you know? He said, "Do you know I'm one of the people who voted here to become the leader of the party?" I said, "Oh," I said, "Did you?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." I said, "She's quite
crazy.
divisive," and it's like, do you know what he said to me? He looked at me and
Yeah.
smirked. He's like, "That's the reason why I voted her in." He said
Yeah.
because she's
But
divisive,
they know what
and
they're doing.
my man, fam. When I'm saying the woman is basically she's like the slave masters back in the days who
Yeah,
actually who
she's
enabled
evil.
slavery.
She's
She
extremely evil.
enabling slavery to be back at it. And I tell you what, she will pass legislation to help. If America will be looking at her as an example, as a good idea. Don't be surprised if she actually become a prime minister of the UK, where all the civil rights laws, okay, on all the laws. This is what I'm saying. If FBA want to delineate from Africans, do it because some Africans are
Mm.
very dangerous.
She's
They will
just a
come here.
straight bed winch.
Yes,
That's what she is.
yes.
She's a bed
And
winch.
the funny thing
And
is, for the funny thing is, black people will never become head of parties in the liberal parties or left wing. They will
never,
only allowed to be leaders of the right wing parties to advance their ideology. Okay?
never. I'm
Yeah.
just worried about young black girls
She will
coming up
listen. She will not be allowed to
it's
be
bad
prime
for their
minister,
mindset.
or
If you've got a
she will
girl,
not.
if you've
Yeah.
got a young girl, I'll
Mm,
say you have to like re-educate them and like reinvent their like mentality, because
mm,
what they are exposing to young
yeah.
black women, it's like they can be all this, they can be sellout, they can be independent, they can be all these type of wrong things which goes
Yes.
against the black community in the UK. Do you understand? So
Yes.
that's the
Mm,
agenda. That's the agenda right there, And like
yeah.
seriously, it's really causing like conflict. You may not see it, but it's really leaning like black women from
But
like the
this
righteous
is the
path
equivalent.
onto like
Yeah,
something
is the
else.
equivalent. Yeah, but God give is it if it's the equivalent of the FBA. Okay, the
Mm,
FBA is basically saying we want to delineate from Africa. Yeah, this is like remember the UK, right? The Caribbeans are the one that fought for most of the civil rights in the UK. They're not Africans. Majority of the people who fought for the equality of black people and so black people can have a breather in this country are majority of the Caribbean descent who suffered from slavery. Okay, And these are the reason why they fought
Very
so hard.
true.
And because and yeah, so but now you have the British system is using an African person who have no connection to transatlantic slavery to come and reverse those things, right?
Mm.
That the African people fought for. So you can see why some of these fundamental or Black Americans are actually looking at African people with a funny eye. They're thinking, you guys, you come here, you suck up to the master, you call us lazy,
That's it. That's it. You know,
you call us all
Yeah.
kind of name. We don't
Nah,
I
want
this
nothing
already
to
know
do
where
with
they're
y'all mind
coming
if I
from.
hop
yeah,
in?
I know where they're
yeah,
coming from when Black
yeah. That's
Americans
what I'm saying.
and FBAs do what they do.
Yeah,
But
Think
it
about it.
doesn't obviously it doesn't mean that, it's they should really, that's what they should really
hey,
like
no,
pursue. You know what I'm saying?
And think about
yeah,
it
They
like
should
this
pursue
too.
something greater. Do you
And think about it
understand?
like
right,
this. And think about it like this
right,
too. If we got these unseen non-black hands at play, right? And why are they
Mm.
yeah,
pushing FBA, right? Either they want to do
mm,
something to a black country or they want to do something to African Americans. One of the two.
right,
One
Mm.
of the
yeah,
two. And they don't want, so if it's a black country, they want least resistance from African Americans. If it's to African
right,
Americans, they want least resistance from other black countries that will come
right.
in and say, hey, what the hell are y'all doing to our people?
Exactly, exactly. So
But then
Very
this is
true.
that's why
mm,
Africans should start responding online, right?
they should
If
start
if
getting
if
to
if 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 the African American themselves can respond to this FBA, that's cool. But with
mm,
the Africans, some of them
to
don't
stop.
distinguish. They just go and
Thank
and
you.
and, 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 and
Mm.
and call all African Americans some sort of name that they don't even know
Yeah.
the
Mm.
difference.
It's
You know,
education.
Mm,
It's
and they were and
education,
yeah.
creating more tension, more tension, right? And
Well,
creating more
Yeah.
I
Right.
hatred.
honestly though,
You
I
know,
think
even some
I
of
think
them going against
what
African Americans that are traveling to Africa to date
Yeah.
African women. Is that your business? That's you have nothing to
Exactly.
do with that.
Mm,
well,
yeah.
honestly,
Case who? Yeah.
honestly, hold on. Especially with going to Africa and dating African women or whatever, you got people speaking out about that because passport bros are giving people a bad name. It is what it is. That's another conversation. But they're not speaking to that to as a whole. Like, I mean, other races of people have been doing that for hundreds of years. Now it's
Okay.
Mm.
popular, for black people to get their passports or whatever and go over there to experience. And
Right.
again, they might not even have the ill intentions that these other people have when they go over there.
Right.
They might literally
You see,
just be
when it
looking
comes
for
to
a
that,
nice right. So real quick,
Mm,
because I just got in here, but I agree with everything that y'all are saying. If we're on the consensus that the reality is, with the split, with Pan-Africanism, the diaspora wars, if you want to call that, is all
right.
because the internet has been blowing up stuff that wasn't as big, as it's made to be on the internet, but because people are making money off it, people get paid to grift and
Yep.
this, that, and the third,
Yeah.
it's made it a lot bigger. I tell people all the time, I beat quote unquote FBA, but I don't claim FBA because,
Mm,
man, I got a Haitian homie right now. That it's like, man, we both are like, man, I don't know why people continuously keep arguing and acting as if, essentially we're so different and we got problems with each other. It's like, look, man, there's gonna be bad apples everywhere. You
right.
might meet somebody that is FBA that you're like you don't agree with.
Mm,
In a lot of cases, the biggest thing is speaking up. Like, hey, if I hear FBA say some stupid ass shit, pardon my French, then
mm,
it needs to be said. Like, nah, bruh, like you got it all wrong. Like, stop. Like, it's not even necessary. Same
no.
thing with like even with my Haitian boy. Like, hey, I know all Haitians don't feel that way because I got plenty of Haitian homies. Nigerians same way. Got Nigerian people. But maybe we're not doing enough to call out our own rather than trying to call out somebody else. And just to finish up or whatever, and pass the mic, I want to let it be known. So, do y'all know who Cynthia G is?
Yes.
The chick that be
yeah.
okay. So this, I've never even really spoke out about this. It's not like we were like personal
I was
friends or
just
anything
about to
like
bring
this.
that up too.
Yeah, but I knew Cynthia G back before Cynthia G was Cynthia G. Like, interacted with
Okay.
her. She used to come through my place of business or whatever, and I took care of her. I didn't know she was like that, so I took care of her. And this is in the Seattle area. That's where she's from. That's where I'm pretty sure she probably still lives. Right. I stayed in that area, and I still tell people to this day, you know, people would be surprised at how diverse that area is. Man, I had Nigerian homies, I had Kenyan homies, but Eritrean, Ethiopian, just from everywhere, man. You can't even imagine. Like it was just so diverse. But every person that came through my establishment that looked like us, because it's the same thing. We don't even realize it. It's like I noticed that when anybody that looked like me would walk through the door, nobody would take care of them. So I went out of my way to make sure, like, hey, when y'all come through, hey, come over here. And I built great relationships that way, right? She was one of them. Now, I'm not even gonna front. She was extremely difficult to work with. You know, I had to bend over backwards, you know, damn near get in trouble with my job trying to take care of her. You know what I'm saying? When she's getting attitudes with people or whatever, but I never took it like nothing, because my whole thing is I'm gonna look out for my people. I'm gonna help out my people, whatever. You know, then years later, you know, few years later or whatever, she turns into this whole thing. And I'm like, I look at it on the internet and all the stuff she's saying, and she has nothing positive to say about black men. And, you know, they're all, you know, and it's just like, huh? Like, I took care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even understand where she used to come off like she was very pro-black, or, oh no, they're only doing this because we're black and they don't want to, you know. And I'm just like, you know, so the point I say with that is, you got bad apples everywhere. Like, she, I believe, is quote unquote FBA. You know, somebody else correct me if I'm wrong, you know, but it's like,
but I'm glad you broke her up, because let me say this.
Yeah, she don't speak for us. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this about it. I'm gonna tell you how YouTube plays games, right? Because when she was doing that, she was breaking YouTube guidelines. Many people would try to shut her channel down. Black people, I know I flagged the channel. I'm gonna be real. I flagged the channel a couple of times because what she was spewing was straight hatefulness towards black men as a whole, right? And her channel kept on going. It took a white lady, right, that had a whole nother, she wrote a whole article about Cynthia G, how, you know, she's man hating and this and that. It took a white lady to go to YouTube and basically get her channel took it down. Now, how after, she did this for like years. Same thing with Tariq, right? Now, how was Tariq getting away with all that xenophobia without breaking YouTube guidelines, dropping videos after videos with black people all crazy, and, you know, the characterizations with the cartoonist looks of, you know, disrespecting everybody in the diaspora that's not an African American. How was he getting away with that without YouTube allowing that?
No, because they want it pushed. It's as simple as that.
But the thing is, the reason for that is YouTube know very well there's a market for it, right? In order for not to have market for something like that, people should start responding to him.
I agree with you, because I think you're the one that said before.
This. If as long as some stupid Africans going online and responding to what he's saying, you may one time log on YouTube and see some Africans speaking bad about African Americans, right? They are not even distinguishing. They are not showing their guideline. Yeah, I'm specifically speaking about FBA, or I'm specifically speaking about Terry, right? They will just speak in general about African Americans that they have no idea how these people operate, and it will create more tension, and people will go and start watching Terry, and that's what he wants. Right.
So I agree with not responding to it. I agree with not responding to it. But what I think needs to happen more, because this is the thing, they're pushing it so hard to where you almost can't look away. It's all that you're seeing because they're pushing it so hard.
That's true.
And
that's true.
The biggest thing for me is there needs to be more literally saying this specifically. This is not us or how we feel. A lot of people say that, but specifically saying, hey, they are pushing this. This is not how everybody, you know, outside of the internet, for all these people, like, but like,
hey, guys, let me read the super chat and pass the mic. Enigma, thank you for the 3747. Thank you for the $50 holla. Go ahead, M.
All right, thank you, sir. Hey, that 50 was a mistake. I tried to send 5, but I'm overdue for Tide, so it's cool. Did somebody just compare Cynthia G?
Appreciate you, Will.
Did somebody compare Cynthia G to Tariq Nasheed, man, and nobody pushed back on that. Did he ever call black boys bullet bags and advocate for the total annihilation of anybody like Cynthia G?
What I'm comparing is the
Come on, man, that's just totally disingenuous to even compare. That's like Hitler, comparing Hitler to Dr. King. You know,
what I'm comparing is
they're both in the same bracket, though. They're
I
both
think
in
what
the
he's
same
comparing is
bracket.
that they
man,
both are sowing
No. Cynthia G still total hate, and she advocated for the genocide of black
No, they're
men
both
and
sowing
abortion of all black boys.
disunity,
Like
bro. Discord.
the hate that she's like a witch. She's like that witch.
But why would people want to listen to people like that? People that speak. If I
Wicked.
listen to internet, you're talking against my people, I wouldn't even listen to that whole show. I would turn it off.
Man, if
I have no
YouTube was
patience for
even
something
being
like that.
fair, they know the rhetoric that the Africans spew, like, you know, and then it's just a
You
response
got to
to that.
understand, most of
It's
our
like
women are deceptive.
it's
Yeah,
like
most of
how
our women are deceptive.
TikTok
You got to be
banned
careful.
Nigerians because they was doing like porn on TikTok and all types of stuff.
I'm Billy Bet. All the money
See,
I get. His channel got flagged.
But as far as my point, y'all can't be sitting here just making false equivalencies and everybody just echo chambering like that. Like that's just not even. That's just
See,
crazy.
I don't see where there was false equivalencies made. I only brought up Cynthia G
Cynthia
specifically.
G
Hold up, I brought up
was
Cynthia
talking
G
about aborting all
derogatory,
black
everything.
babies that was boys, and she say we bullet bags.
Okay,
right.
And she's a
So
divester,
the whole point
even
was
though
how
her
did
baby
Cynthia
daddy's
G,
black.
how did Cynthia G get pushed? That's the whole point.
Because a lot of black
main thing-
women held the same sentiments.
Once again,
and
if it's pushed in front of your face constantly 24/7, then you're gonna hold more of those sentiments.
and
You know,
as
it's the
far as
same
like
thing.
my point I was trying to make, if I could, I don't know if anybody can hear me clearly.
But could you let me respond?
Yeah, we can hear you.
On my point I was going to make as far as Pan-Africanism being one-sided, I think when we develop an Afrocentric mindset in America and started to promote movies, books, literature, history. This happened after the slavery was abolished, because, you know, they had us worshiping white Jesus and stuff like that. And then when they start pushing books like Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain, and he used the N-word like hundreds of times in his book, and that's actually still taught in schools. And the history is just all white. Everybody that did anything great was white. And then we had scholars that actually did the research and found that they're excluding like a lot of black people in history, especially in the Bible. When we got to read the Bible, we found out Jesus had like feet of burnt bronze and woolly hair. I heard a couple of people on this platform try to say that his head and his hair was white and stuff like that, but they didn't mention that they said his feet was like burnt bronze. So it's like disingenuous. It's just fake narratives that y'all want to push. But I would say when we had this Afrocentric mindset, we turned that into African-centered. And we say things are African-centered. We assume it's Black-centered. And we just didn't realize like Africans were still under colonialism. And we didn't look at their mindset as far as we just assumed they would be against Eurocentrism. But in the 1960s, when they got freedom, like nearly 100 years after we already was Afrocentric, they became neo-colonialists, and they was pushing for the bringing back white people, and they never really got rid of their white Jesus. And it's like this African centered never addressed their white mindset. So we just looking at Africa, the continent, and then we just calling all these people Africans, even though they don't even call themselves Africans, unless it's beneficial to them, unless it's like just opposed to FBA, then all of a sudden they all Africans. But amongst themselves, they not even their own country. They just, like Liberia has 17 tribes, you know, all of a sudden they call themselves Africans. They don't even call themselves Liberians, really. So Africans never really had like a black mindset, and Pan-African is just embracing all things Africa, even that white mindset. And we become like token blacks for them. And we never really call them out for their white worship, stuff like that. So I think that's why it's been one-sided, because they never really adopted or embraced Even people like Kwame Nkrumah, when he came here and got the black mindset, Afrocentrism, they chopped him up and got rid of him. And Patrice Lumumba. Now the AES, when I read some of their rhetoric, they seem to have an Afrocentric mindset. You know, they sound like Huey P. Newton. They have that. They got that legacy of Nkrumah from the '60s, but I don't think the rest of the continent has that. So that's probably why it's one-sided.
First of all, let me say this. This whole thing that all African Americans were Afrocentric is a lie. Okay. I remember growing up, I didn't know nothing about Marcus Garvey until most people didn't know nothing about Marcus Garvey until they was like, in the adulthood. They, and as far as like in the white classroom, they weren't talking about Marcus
Why
Garvey.
does dude say all? We have Uncle Tom's in America too.
No, not. I'm not talking about Uncle Tom's. I'm talking about people. Just the average black person was not Afrocentric. The average black person was not Pan-African. The average black person was just a black person trying to, go to work and survive and this and that,
So you telling me the average black person agreed with Jim Crow segregation and
that's
the
not
black
being,
folks and stuff like that.
That's not being Afrocentric.
I mean, being black centered was the opposite of white supremacy, and you had to deal with it until Dr. King and then put an end to the Jim Crow.
Pan-Africanism is different than Afrocentrism.
Afrocentrism is the predecessor of Pan-Africanism. Why do you think we have black studies? We have African American history. We have like a black church.
When you talk about
y'all brag about the African church from the 1700s, that means it's been going back way before slavery was abolished.
Being Afrocentric is more than just being black. Being Afrocentric is going to like dealing with African culture, going back to the cultures of Africa, as far as like even the just the belief systems and everything, cultural practices. That's being Afrocentric.
That's what it became. Before that, we had nothing to do with Africa. We didn't know nothing about Africa.
We didn't know nothing about Africa
until we was able to go there. We had Liberia. And they basically was selling slaves, and they had to go to war with them, and they was always rejected as not being African in like the 1820s and 30s and 40s. And most of us didn't have the internet, so we didn't really know about the experiences that they was having in Liberia until after the Civil War. And then the Buffalo Soldiers was down there helping them, protecting them against Africans, probably more so than being against Europeans.
Okay, so like I said, when you talk about Malcolm X, right? Malcolm X really wasn't Afrocentric. He was a Pan-African, right? And he was a Muslim too.
Well, the black Muslims ideology is Afrocentric because they call the black man God and the white man the devil. They say, who is the black man, the original man, maker, owner, cream of the earth, God of the universe?
No, that's not Afrocentric.
And the white man is a devil. Like the whole ideology is just the opposite of white people. That's where Malcolm X come from.
Matter of fact, be like a literature war, of ideologies from Afro. Should we be Afrocentric or Pan-Africanism? Which is better? You know what I mean?
We probably should go back and to the drawing board.
And what do you think? What do you think the Africans who migrated to the US? What do you think they should do to stop instigating people like you? So we can actually build, even we can build, unity, but we can at least have a cohesion online, and so also all these things can actually get dampened down away. What do you think the Africans should do?
It's not at this point in their mindset. I think they have like an opportunistic mindset. If it's not advantageous to them, I think back in the days of Nkrumah, when there was no guarantee he would be able to stay there because there was no Immigration Reform Act, and he was in the HBCU, he had to go back to Africa, and he saw how our ideology helped us in America develop immense power as far as being separate from the white people. And he took that back because he said it was going to be advantageous to Africa if they had separation, or even if they drive them out, like that whole black liberation ideology. It was a benefit to them. But when the Africans now come to America, they have a better chance of being here, especially if they just have babies and just, marry somebody.
Yeah, I'm here to
So
ask
it's no advantage for them to even think about us.
Africans, continental Africans. Just ask the question. Why don't you just ask the question?
He asked me about the ones who come to America. I say it's no advantage for them to even associate with us, because all they're looking for is citizenship and being able to get jobs and getting money and probably getting white women. The work has been done, so there's no real pressure on them, unless it was something that if it was like altruistic and just somehow out of some epiphany or some inspiration from God, they just jumped up and said we should somehow click up with Black Americans, but it's really nothing motivating them to do it because they got everything they're looking for.
I've told you this before. Like first generations, straight like first generations coming over, they're coming from economic hardship. Yeah. So you're not going to get that type of vibe from them. You're not going to get that type of mutual feeling where they understand like what you're going through. Do you understand? Yeah. With them, it's a different type of concept. Yeah. So basically, you have to understand the value of the dollar to say an African country. Yeah. In comparison with their currency, the dollar is absolutely is huge. You understand? So when they get that opportunity, yeah, to obviously like come overseas, they're not gonna want to be on this type of movement where, on this type of like, oh yeah, there needs to be some type of Black unity or some type of Black this and that, unless if they're educated about it. You know what I'm saying? What they're on is a straight mission. They're on a straight mission. Now you got to understand, they've probably sold like a business, they've got like dependencies, they got kids back at home, they probably sold like their house or something on some type of scheme. Do you understand? So once they get that opportunity to get that dollar or to get that pound, you know what I'm saying? It's like a race. You know what I'm saying? Let me just go there and try and get this, try and get this bread and facilitate for all the losses and all the things I've sold back at home. So they're not going to be on that type of vibe. You understand? You're not going to get that type of connection that you're looking for. Now, maybe if it's like a third generation, like African or something, second generation, then they'll get that mutual understanding. You understand? Because maybe they've gone through all the institutional racism, they've gone through all this discrimination, all the bias. They've probably received some of it. So then, they understand you more. You can relate with them more. You get me? You can relate with a third generation more because they go through what you go through. Like they see certain things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Like, you get me? Them type of people there. My advice to you is just to let them do their thing. You get me? You can try and just help them, just try and just enlighten them. That's all you can do. Just show them, there's this and that, there's this and that. But if you're trying to get some type of like strong connection and all that, no, you're not gonna get that. Not from a first generation African. They're on a mission. They are on a mission. Yeah. So I keep saying this to you.
Yeah, and I noticed some of the Africans that are going to the US, and they're not average normal Africans. Some of these people come from a middle class family, the opposite of what you're saying, right? These people come from a very rich background. They actually happen to be, the people who are their parents happen to be the people who actually are putting the rest of the Africans into poverty by pillaging their country, like those corrupt politicians. Okay, they send their kids to good school. They go there, they associate themselves with the top class white student, they get top class white blue collar or whatever color you class it over there in America. So these people, they already don't have the same agenda as the average
You're
Black
talking
American.
about the bourgeoisie. You're talking about the bourgeoisie Black people that come over. There is some bourgeoisies that do come over and they're a bit funny as well, you know what I'm saying? But because they are on that They're on that colonial mentality. That's what they
They've
know.
been
Like
trained also. They will get
yeah,
trained by the system here to actually take over their parent when their parent finish, looting. So these are the same people who sold. These people, this type of African, they know their parent are no different to the slave masters who put, the black American on the boat and also send the black Africans into, colonialism. So we are facing the same struggle, but at the same time we're fighting each other. So that's why sometimes we have to have a rational mind, into how we look at these things. We can't just brush all Africans as the same. Some Africans are like me. Here I'm on, in the middle on this. I understand most of the, where you're coming from. Most of my African brothers in the chat, they'll be like, "Oh, Africa, Africa, you don't understand this FBA. They don't like you." I'm thinking, yeah, that's fine. Not all FBA will be like that. You understand? So, dude, it's about finding middle ground. I can't generalize. Even Nigerian, politician who in the UK at the moment I'm criticizing, it doesn't mean all the Nigerians that come in the UK happen to be like Kemi, because there are a lot of Nigerians online also who are talking against Kemi because what she's doing is bad. So I am always in the middle ground when it comes to these things because I don't like generalizing. You can't generalize. You can't think the entire group of people are the same because they're not. Not all Black Americans are the same. Not all Africans are the same. Even in one country, they're not all the same. So
It's like
you see, so we got to understand these things.
it's
Those
like
people are come here, yeah. Those people are come here and also always saying stuff about Black Americans. They probably have bad experience from Black Americans.
Hey guys, we got a couple new people on the panel. Go ahead,
No
D
problem.
Red and then SMH. Go ahead. D Red, unmute yourself.
Oh, what's going on?
Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if estimation
Yeah,
want to
whose
go, he can
turn
go
is that?
first.
Go ahead, D.
Hey,
SMH is not your turn. Go ahead, D.
nah, I mean, I say this all the time. The issue is Pan Africans, Black American Pan Africans have been the issue. You know what I'm saying? Because what ended up happening is they had us looking someplace else for greatness. They wasn't teaching you. We wasn't learning Black American history through our Pan African brothers that were Black American. They weren't teaching us this shit. They wasn't teaching us about the Lions County Freedom Organization and what they did. They wasn't teaching you about the Villages Committees, of the 1800s and what they did and how important they were to stopping the kidnapping clubs. I mean, we all seen 12 Years a Slave, you know what I'm saying? But we formulated whole groups to combat those groups. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't teaching about that. They wasn't teaching about the Negro Convention movement. They wasn't teaching about people like Moses Dixon who had 40,000 troops ready to march on the South and free the slaves by force. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't teaching you about Bishop Henry McNeil Turner. They wasn't teaching you none of this shit. You see what I'm saying? It's like they skipped over everything that we accomplished in America and took your ass straight to Africa. Like we did, there was nothing in between. That there was nothing going on in the meantime, in between time. And so what ends up happening when you don't have that, so it didn't give you no sense of pride. And so what ends up happening, those people started moving. Those Black American Pan Africans started moving like they had no sense of pride, and so they left a void. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Tariq. I don't even use the FBA moniker. You see what I'm saying? Because I was talking about this shit before Tariq came about, because I was studying Norris Shilton and Dr. Claude Anderson. But you can't get mad at Tariq for feeling a void that you guys left. So when he started solely focusing on Black American history, that's a void that you left it open. And so when he started teaching people about stuff like the Tut language, you see what I'm saying? What it is, where it come from, how long it's been around. You can't get mad at him because as a Pan-African, you should have been teaching that, but you wasn't.
What?
You see what I'm saying? And so,
language with the Tut. Get the fuck out of here with the Tut language.
you know what I'm saying? Okay, but do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
I heard what Tweet tried to call it. It really
it's called techniques, but that's not the point. I'm not even gonna get off into that. But that's an example, brother. I ain't interrupt nobody. Get some discipline. Men, we should always be maintain our discipline whether somebody say something we don't like or not. You know what I'm saying? And so the void that was left open, Pac even told I peeped the weakness in the rap game and sold it. Tariq peeped the weakness in Pan-Africanism and exploited it. That's not his fault. That's your fault. You shouldn't have left it open.
I agree with that.
So now that he's exploiting and actually teaching motherfuckers more history, Black American history than any Pan-Africanist you can fucking name. Now motherfuckers is
Please, sir,
butthurt.
I don't want to just listen to the curse words.
He can't tie J.A. Rogers' shoes. J.A. Rogers wearing the Greatest Men of Color, Volume 1, Volume 2.
But see, this is where we get in that competition thing. Like, it ain't got to be a competition, man. Like, that's the thing with Black people. We do that competition thing, and it hurts us, man. We always do that. Big Black, you know, you my guy, man. Pause, man. But we always get into this competition. Like he said that Tariq did more Black history than anybody. Why would you even respond to that? This is like, hold on for a second. Big Black, hold on for a second, bro. What I'm saying is we get emotional. We get emotional and hyped up on stuff that we ain't even got to get emotional. That's the same way if we all sit in the barbershop and somebody it can be complete quiet and somebody say Jay-Z the best rapper. And now you got all these emotional Black men like, oh yeah, what about this? It's unnecessary. What I'm saying is that the competition is who's the first and who's the best and all that. Black people do that. Big Black. Pause. Hold on. Let me finish this. Let me finish, bro. Can I finish, bro? You had your chance to talk. You had your chance to talk, Big Black.
Don't come in here being biased.
Bro, you had your chance to talk. Why you got to interrupt? This is what I'm talking about. This that emotional Black man shit. You know what I'm saying? That always got to be right.
To be honest with you, the only person emotional is you.
I cannot be emotional. I'm not fighting against what he's saying.
You weren't even in turn.
It don't even matter. I'm not emotional. If that man said that, if he feels like Tariq is the best thing since, but you is emotional. That's why you reacting like that.
You skip a turn. Stop being emotional.
What the hell they got to do?
It's my turn.
It's called an interjection, sir.
You come here.
My uncle.
Let the man. Is your turn? No, it's the other guy's turn.
I'm almost done, man. I'm almost done.
Easy, brothers.
Yeah, I'm almost done, bro.
You should have learned about who turn it is being emotional, bro. What's wrong with you, man?
You was emotional. It's
called the interjection, Big Black. Do you know what an interjection is?
No, it's
tripping, bro.
It's just yes or no, man. Do you know what an interjection is?
Yeah, I know what an interjection is.
Okay, got you. Go ahead, brother. Continue, man.
What an emotional interjection is?
I mean,
yes,
it's
no such thing.
Bro. It ain't even that serious, bro. It ain't even that serious.
What you just said doesn't exist.
You know what I'm saying?
You just did it.
No, it's just something you created. That's what Black men do, bro. Go ahead, bro. Hey, go ahead and finish talking, man.
You don't know what an adjective is. Okay, you don't know what an adjective is. Your schooling is terrible. Okay, all right.
Y'all bugging, bro. Just chill out. No, what I'm saying is again.
They always cut me off. Everybody else talk all day, bro.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, again,
everybody
can I finish?
When it's my turn, I can't talk.
Can I finish though, bro? Like, can I finish what I'm saying, bro? Like,
bro, you talking for like 20 minutes, bro. I let you talk for like a whole 20 minutes. All you talk about is a bunch of retarded stuff. Like, no disrespect, bro.
Bro, I don't even know you, bro. So I'm just gonna ignore you. But the point of the matter is the reality of the situation is that, that's what I'm talking about. Black men have no. We talking about
mad at you because you elevated Tariq Nasheed and they can't stand that.
Bro, you are bro.
This shit crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not elevated. I'm just, bro. Like y'all are the most.
Hey, bro, just like ignore women, them, man, and finish what you're saying, bro. Just ignore them, bro.
Elevated is Tariq Nasheed balls.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So the
hold
point
on,
I'm
hold on,
making,
hold on, hold on, hold on. This is the host talking. D, you got 30 seconds. I'll pass the mic. Pass the
all
mic.
right,
SMH.
tenfold. Nah, I just want to say that, man. Look, man, you can't get mad at somebody because a motherfucker dropped the ball and somebody picked it up and ran with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. I stand on that. I'm good. I'm good.
What the? I don't know why I listened to this. Yo, it's my turn,
Ian,
right?
I
It's my
said, go
turn,
ahead.
bro. I don't want to hear nothing else.
SMH. You got the mic. You got the floor.
Man,
Go ahead.
finally, bro. Yeah, yo. First off, Africa. You still here? Hello?
bro, just
Yeah, yeah, I'm here,
talk,
brother.
man.
I'm here, brother. I'm here.
God
I'm here.
damn.
This is why. Yo, shut up, bro. I'm not even talking to you, bro. So this is the thing, right? This is why I'm always mad when you call, because you don't know the experience of like a second and third generation African, bro, and you just speak on it. Like you have the right to speak on it. No, bro. Like you trying to convince this KKK ass black dude that Africans are good people, bro. Like why don't you like them? Like, you gotta love them, bro. Like please. No, they're retarded, bro. Anybody that listens to Tariq is a retard, bro. Like look, okay, Tariq stole that whole FBA thing from Yvette Carnell, right? Yvette Carnell started the whole ADOS thing because her mentor is a Republican racist dude called Tentrin. What's his first name? Hold on, let me look it up. His first name is I can't remember it. But hold on. I'll
It
give you
sounds
the
like
That's
name.
when
more
you should
African
stop talking.
deflecting.
That's
I'm
when
Just
you
lying
should
about
stop
it.
talking
It's
when you don't even know what you're
Let him make
talking
his
about.
point though.
he just
What's up?
deflecting. He's taking
I,
no
yo, please,
accountability
I
for what Africans
don't
did.
got
He's just
yo.
making
It's my
excuses.
turn.
No, but
Guys,
in all
It's my
fairness,
turn.
guys,
in all
let him
fairness,
I don't care, bro. It's my
let
turn.
him finish.
Like
Let
this
him
is
finish.
crazy.
please.
Dennis, every time I talk, this shit always happens, right? So he stole that whole thing from Yvette Carnell, and she stole it from a mentor, which was a Republican racist dude named Tantron. I think it's spelled Tantron. If you don't believe me, just look it up, bro. Like all this is public knowledge. So he took the whole thing from her and he started beefing with her a couple weeks after that, and started calling her a lesbian or whatever. And she's a lesbian, right? So that shit was not gonna go anywhere anyway, right? So that's why all these like retarded talking point that you keep hearing, all these like dumbasses like and I'm keep repeating, they literally have no knowledge. It's like
What role do Africans play
a
in
bunch of
this?
retards
No, but
who
don't
listen to
interrupt
Tariq
him,
and shit
please.
all videos all day on YouTube, right? So this is the thing, right? When you hear him say a bunch of stuff, it comes from a whole stereotypical, literally cultural clash that happened back in like the 80s and the 70s. When the first wave of African moved here, you got to understand, a lot of them were like coming from Africa in the 80s and 70s. There was no TV, there was no radio, there was no cell phone. So they're moving to America. Of course, they're gonna have a cultural like clash when they move to America in like the 80s and the 70s. They're not gonna understand what's going on in America, bro. It's like a first world country, right? It's the first economy in the world, right? But all that shit carried on all the way till today. So all the dumb talking points that you hear, all these like, oh, Africans don't like them. Like there's first and second and third generation Africans that grew up in a hood in America, bro. Like it's 2026, bro. There's fourth generation Africans that grew up in America, right? And they're still attacking them like they're first generation Africans that don't want to associate with Africans, that don't want to associate with black people in America. Like that shit stopped happening in like the 90s. So all this like hatred towards Africans that you hear, it's not just random, bro. It's like a thing that carried on from like 40 years ago. It's never gonna go away.
It's just
Even
more
if
deflection,
FBA
babble,
dies
man.
tomorrow,
Somebody else talk.
something else.
No, but we can't keep interrupting
Bro,
him.
like you
Just
keep cutting me
deflection,
off, bro.
babble.
Like
No
Jesus
accountability,
Christ,
just
bro.
babble.
Like you are a fucking retard, bro. I don't even know why you keep calling here, bro.
All right, why are
Like
you just
literally.
still talking? You're not even making it. You just making excuses, man.
No, but no. The man got his right
Did
to
I cut
speak
you
what he's
off when
Just
you was
saying.
making
He's
talking,
making
bro?
his
excuses.
answers.
Guys,
Did I cut you off when you was talking, bro?
don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt. SMH, you
Like
got a
this is
minute. Don't
crazy. This
interrupt
shit
him.
happens every single time. And he always
SMH, you
cut
got
me off like this.
SMH, you got a minute. Go. Don't get distracted. No
All right,
interrupt him.
bro. So all these like clashes that you see, like this shit been going on. Cause after the 80s and like the 90s and all that shit, it was just a reason to like bully little African kids, cause there weren't that many African kids in the state, right? So if you go to like an HBCU, like there's a couple Africans. If you go to like a predominant black neighborhood in America, like it's gonna be a couple Africans, but they're not gonna be that many. If you don't have the numbers, you're gonna get bullied in America. That's just how things work, right? So when you hear these people like, why are they hating? Like Africans gotta do something better. They gotta behave better. It's bullshit, bro. They're always gonna come up with some way or some excuse to bully them. It doesn't matter. They just don't like them. That's just how things are. Because you gotta understand, bro. You gotta understand. Like most of the black leaders in America got killed by other black people. Like Malcolm X got killed by some NOI people, even though they're not gonna admit it. What's the dude in Chicago? He got killed by other black people. There's always gonna be coons here. Like it's never gonna go away, right? There's always gonna be other black people that are gonna fight you. Like, think about it. What's so horrible about unifying black people all across the globe, right? Having black people in the Caribbean, having black people in Africa, because that's how Asians work, right? They all work together to make money, because they don't want to be last, right? They have to work together. They have no choice. The Japanese and the Chinese fought for like 300 years, bro. They had like a long-lasting war. But today, they make money together. They don't care about that stuff. Right, but you have like ignorant ass black people get online and just like hold on to like the most piteous stuff, and people clapping for it. Like this Tariq Nasheed dude, like I mean, he's like a scammer. He's really like a retard. Like he makes up historical facts and put it on a DVD, and like people take it as like actual like history, and they take it as like he's a serious person. Like, that's how the level of fucking idiotic people that you argue. So when you argue like a guy like M or the other dude, but they've never opened a book in their life. Most of the time, like once they finish high school, they've never opened a book, bro. 9 times out of 10, bro. Like they're just retards that's on YouTube and listen to YouTube all day. But that's all I have for right now. Cause
Africa. That sounds a bit like a situation in the UK, but obviously
I said that before.
Pattern it up.
Yeah, I mean, SMH, I understand. I'm glad you said that, because you know what? When I say what I say, I speak, basically as
you have got concur that BS. Some of you glad he said that we retards, we don't read books.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not what I'm talking about.
From his perspective.
I disagree with that.
He's talking from his perspective.
Oh my God! Grown-ass men, bro.
Fred have to get killed. The CPD and the FBI.
I'm not agreeing to him insulting any group at all. I agree to what he said about some group of people.
All he said was a bunch of BS, man.
No, I agree to some of it.
Absolutely no validity at all.
Deflecting
babble.
Come on, brother M, stop. So basically, some of the stuff that he said makes sense to me in the UK, and my brother that God give have just said the same thing. It makes sense to our experience in the past in the UK. But we managed.
Please take notes to the people that you're actually you drew a line of yourself with. Please take notes.
Okay. But differently, we managed to nip it in the bud. We managed to nip it in the bud, okay, by working together and understanding each other, instead of having to throw insults at each other.
I don't mean to cut you off, bro. But
you just was complaining about what people cutting you off and crying about that, and then as soon as man get to talking, you go to cutting him off. You're doing the same thing that you complaining about. God, that don't matter, but he's talking though.
Listen. First
like they just never had to step in to stop people from interrupting you. As soon as the African go to explain themselves, you go to doing the same thing. I don't complain about it. I don't complain about it. God damn, we can't even hear nobody do a complete sentence around this bitch, bro.
I didn't cut him off. You know what?
Oh, Africa, can you please finish, man? Because I was listening to you, man.
Sorry, man. So basically, we wanted to work out exactly where the differences are, and we wanted to deal with this and actually work together. And there is a room. And anytime you see a family fight, after the fight, there's always some form of peace and reconciliation.
And that's what I was trying to say, bro. It was getting to that point in the state, bro. It was getting to that point in the state,
bro.
Right? I don't care. It was getting to that point in the state, right? Up to like 20.
You had your time. You just failed. You dropped the ball, man. It's over.
Everything was dope. right? But
You
then
had
like
your time to make
something
your argument. You didn't make it, man. You can't just go back, double back. It's over.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know how to
You
talk
called us
retard.
retards,
So I
man.
don't
Just
know
let
what
somebody
you're
else
saying
talk.
right now.
Let somebody
I
else
don't know how to
talk,
say
man.
retard. I don't know how to talk retard.
Let's be
Yeah,
civil.
so
So basically, yeah. So what we need to do is work out the differences. I mean, not all of us will agree to each other. Not all of us will be united as people. We're gonna have this as. I mean, look at the world today. Even the Europeans are fighting on one another. They're having disagreement. But one thing, there is one thing fundamental: we should always come together on those aspects. And I think there's still room, for that. And I think there's a lot of room for that because, when I listen to a lot of the brothers speaking, even with M that speaks, I don't think M got like hatred towards black people. I think he got hatred towards some black people with some ideology. When I hear SMX speak
Hatred.
just now, I don't know. I don't think he got hate towards black Americans. I think he got hate towards some certain type of ideology. Okay, so this is what we need to actually start looking at beyond, what is playing out on the internet because majority of black Americans and in America are not out there attacking black Africans. They're not out there disturbing black Africans. If anything,
Now,
they finally live
FBA is like an
together.
online thing,
Zero,
bro.
zero
FBA is like
black
Yeah,
an
exactly.
Americans
online thing.
are attacking
Exactly.
Africans.
The
Absolutely
majority,
zero. There's
yeah,
none of
yeah,
us attacking
majority
Africans.
of, yeah, majority of
None of
black
us are
British.
attacking Africans.
Exactly. Majority of the black
Absolutely
British.
none of
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Bro,
Yeah.
M.
So,
I mean,
wait,
Africa,
one
Africa,
second. Majority of the black.
Africa. Listen, you gotta
Yeah.
understand. I think you kind of missed my point. FBA is like
Okay.
an online thing by all the
Okay.
all the people that like pretty much didn't go anywhere in life, right? So they have nothing else to do, so they get online
I
and they
think
try to
what the guy
criticize
from
everything.
Atlanta said is absolutely true. It's a bunch of emotional
I mean,
babble,
it's just
man.
crazy.
Talking about hate. Hate has nothing to do with it. We talking logic,
Yeah.
That's
man.
all it is. It's just emotional babble. That's all it is.
No,
And,
no, but look. So
and you know the funny thing, I don't even
I
agree
pass the
with
mic.
him
I
on
pass
a
the
lot
mic.
of stuff. But when he speaks something that's the one thing about us as black men is that it's like we have to. It's either my way or the highway type thing. So if you don't agree with me, then you go against
doing the exact same thing
everything
right now.
else. Like you can
And
sit
you're
up
doing the
there
exact
and
same thing right now.
you can sit up there. I'm the only one that ain't talked up here. Y'all been talking for goddamn 15, 20 minutes. I ain't goddamn had a chance to speak. I ain't had a chance to
Yeah, I
speak. I ain't
think it's
had a
his
chance to
turn. I
speak
think
at
it's his
all.
turn.
it is smart. You got 2 minutes. So I pass the Congo Bongo. You got 2 minutes.
That's the funny part. And then it take the host to get y'all grown ass men to stop interrupting each other and talking over each other. Y'all, if Dana just go to the park and shoot a basketball, y'all will sit up there and be talking. Y'all will be just like them chicks over there on Cynthia G, arguing and yelling. Nobody ain't listening to nobody. It's like kerosene and fire, and everybody trying to make a point because everybody arguing. That's why we doomed as a people. Because we don't see each other and be like, hey, I got this point I don't agree with, but let's grab this point and bring it to the pot. Hey, I don't agree with everything M say, but hey, this little point right here, M, the rest of that shit you saying, keep that shit over there, but this point, keep it. And that's how you make a pot and you build something. You can't build nothing when everybody arguing something and calling people, saying somebody retarded and stupid or whatever like that to make a point. Then you just keep repeating it. That's how females act. Don't get it wrong. I call people names all the time, but I ain't gonna sit up there and keep repeating it
So
like the person didn't hear
criticizing
it.
me for doing what you do.
Boy, can I? Hey, Don, I ain't gonna even argue. Can I finish talking, bro? That's all I'm asking.
Go ahead.
Is that possible? So what I'm saying is that when it comes to the Pan-African, like I tell people all the time, me and Colin talks all the time, the Pan-African one-sidedness, which it is for Black Americans, that's Black Americans' fault. Because that's what Black Americans do. They always sit up there and think that they want to save and help everybody. You know what I'm saying? That shit came from Black women. Black women had that thing that where they got to save everybody. We got to save the Democrat Party, whatever. And if I was an African, I would come over. I would fuck with Black Americans. They vote with the Democrat Party that sit up here and do all this gay shit, this homo shit. You get what I'm saying? Got them represent everybody else. And then you sit up there and vote for them. They got 92% of your loyalty. And they don't give you nothing, offer anything. And then you go out there when they tell you to go be a bodyguard for somebody else, you go do it. You go out there and march for every other group of people. You don't march for your own self. You got senators and House members out here, black women fighting federal agents about Latinos. And we got brothers dying in the county jails right here. You ain't never seen now one of these black senators. You ain't never seen these quote unquote FBA people sitting up here at the jails for black people, but they out there doing it for every other group of people because we don't see ourselves as important. We see every other race people as poor. It's almost like we put on a black Superman cape. Oh shit, let's go help Latinos. Oh shit, let's go help Africans. But then when it comes to us trying to help each other, we like, oh man, we ain't gonna do that. When it come to us doing our own neighborhoods, oh man, that's my homeboy up there, man. He doing his thing. You know, we act like we don't see the shit in our own neighborhood. But then we punch down at the Africans. The Africans only 1% over here. Who gives a fuck what Africans got to say? That's how I see it. You get what I'm saying? Because I ain't worrying about the minority. But at the end of the day, the Latinos outnumber us. So we don't even talk about them. All these other group of people work together. And we want if I was an African, if I saw what black Americans doing, I wouldn't fuck with them either. Because they sit up there, they have no power, and the people that they do put in power become ass kissing for white people. Because ass kissing for Democrat Party. Let me tell you something. I have nothing against homosexuality, but we all know as black men that we don't play that faggot shit at all. But when you see your black leaders get with the Democrat Party, they talking about, hey, we don't know the difference between a man that cut his dick off pause and stick it in his mouth. We don't know what that is. You get what I'm saying? But then you still go out there and vote for that. You get what I'm saying? Like we sit up here and talk about, hey, white people treating us bad, and then the Asians get a bill and they like, oh, we gonna make a policy for the Asians. You got black people out here clapping. Like, yeah, they deserve it. So we're not concerned about us. We just want to put it's almost like hurt people. So who can we hurt? We can't hurt the Latinos, they outnumber us. We can't hurt the Asians because the Asians don't fuck with us either. They just sell us some goddamn orange chicken. Some orange chicken. You get what I'm saying? And then the black people that they try to open up business. Black people want to overcharge black people. You go to a black restaurant, you'll get one piece of chicken and a biscuit, $35,693.
Hustle Smart, real quick. Let me ask you a question, Hustle Smart.
Yes, sir.
Why is that? And listen, I support black business. I have no problem. You know, I love supporting black businesses, but when it comes to black restaurants, why is that?
Because we got this thing to where that if we can go, same thing that what Tyreek doing. Tyreek sit up there and took up money to make a documentary and then sold it back to the people that gave him the money to do it. So you got black people that sit up there, we like, hey, we got to support black. B1. Come to my black owned, this a black owned restaurant, and you go in there, it's bad service. They make you pay for parking. They make you
the UK, man.
Hold on, you go get a takeout order. You go get a takeout order, and they paying you. They charging you to do a takeout order. But if you go to any other people restaurant, Asian, Italian, guy, you can go to Olive Garden. They ain't charging you for no takeout. You can put a tip if you want to, but you don't have to do that. They're not paying you to park. Black people want to get dressed up because we're trendy people. So they put a couple of LED lights on the wall, some goddamn asparagus, and some goddamn grass from the booga tree or whatever the fuck. And then they got a DJ. They got a DJ in the background playing. And then they want to charge you $6,000 for some lemonade and some tea mixed together.
We got some excellent black-owned restaurants in Chicago.
It's true. Our Uncle Sim just said it's so true in the UK as well. It's not just America. Even in the UK, uncles, it's the same thing. They overcharge us.
It's sad like that. Because you can't. Hold on, this last point. I promise y'all can have it after this last point. I guarantee you.
From black restaurants, like
this the last 5 seconds. I promise y'all can go back to fight for the ball.
Bro, I agree with you, bro. Why was you arguing with me earlier?
Listen.
Like,
It wasn't arguing. I wasn't arguing that. I was just saying
He
we're
trying to
emotional
recruit
how
you as
we
an Uncle
react.
Tom.
I said we're emotional how we
We the
react to
same.
each other. That's the difference.
Right.
What I'm saying is that all the other people make their prices low enough so that their community can shop with them every day. The Mexicans is up in the Mexican places every day. The Asian, they shop with each other every day. The black restaurants price their things to the point that you don't even, it's a Friday or a Saturday thing. You're not going to no black restaurant every day and paying no $23 for one piece of chicken. You're not gonna do that. So you'll go there on every other day, but it gets to the point you'll be like, you'll go in there and be like, I'm going to Kroger and get a whole thing of chicken for like $8 and make it before you go in there and get raped at the cash register. And then talking about some black power and then get bad service. And I pass the mic.
100% spot on.
Hey, can I make a point real quick?
I don't know why you was arguing with me,
Hold on. Can I make a point real quick?
No, but SMH,
oh my God,
leave it. I wanna respond to what Africa said earlier. And you know, in medicine, there's a Greek philosopher, Hippocrates. They say do no harm, right?
Oh my God.
When Africans come here, it's not like they're just obscure, just man of their business. They get into our politics.
Hold on. Repeat that one more time.
I'm not repeating anything. They get into our politics and they get on the internet.
Right.
It's a dude by the name. It's a dude, but the Hippocratic oath is common knowledge. Do no harm when you actually when you working on a patient. Do no harm. You don't make their life worse than what it was when they got to you. You don't poison them. So when the Africans come here, instead of them manning their business, if they want to be standoffish, they should do no harm to us. They shouldn't get on the internet spewing hatred. They shouldn't get into our politics, undermine our reparations movement, talking about we don't need anything, we don't need reparations, become governors, or in Minnesota, the Somalis talking about they need to usurp power from Black Americans. Why don't you try to usurp power from white people
you know
or
what?
other demographics? So it's not like they're just manning their business. They're actively working against us, causing harm.
I agree with you, yeah, to a certain extent. Hold on. To a certain extent. Look, I believe like you know, first generation.
Hey guys, actually, did Congo?
migrant.
Hold on, I'm talking. Did Congo Bongo go yet?
No,
you haven't.
No,
It's
not been yet.
go ahead, Congo. They were closing out. Go ahead, Congo.
I ain't go yet.
Who hasn't won yet?
That's Congo.
Yeah, go ahead, Congo.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the original topic, has Pan-Africa been one-sided? I will say that it has, but it hasn't, because I think Pan-Africanism is looking forward. You know what I mean? Like, say like 5 years, 100 years, something like that, right? In the future. Like, America might not be here no more. It's still gonna be here, but it's gonna be looking crazy, right? So now, we all black folks, so you might have to look somewhere to move. Not saying the fleeing thing, but like just have options. You know what I mean? If you want to hit the Caribbean, you want to hit Africa, you want to hit anywhere else you want to. But like, I mean, it ain't going down over here. So saying like Pan-African at one side, and like you just got to keep it moving though. That's all I'm looking at it.
Okay, hey, let me read this last super chat and we're closing out. Let's see here. Summer, none other baddie. Thank you for the holla. Even natural hair shampoo for Black women is $30 to $100. Okay.
Yeah, SMH and God Gift and the others, you can stay on.
But see, I think with the shampoo portion, you got the ingredients are different. You know what I mean? You got to just read the ingredients. Sometimes the pay for quality is going to cost more. But with restaurants is interesting because I used to work in the restaurant industry, and a lot of that food is coming off the Cisco truck, coming off the U.S. Foods truck. You know, the same food service truck that's delivering to the cheap to the Mexican restaurants and other restaurants are going to the soul food restaurants as well. Or they're going to Restaurant Depot. They all use the same vendors. So that's why, you know, like Smart was saying, Why is it so expensive when they're using the same vendors? I don't know. But everyone.
Yeah, you guys can stay on if you want.